Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, deep into the rabbit hole. We're like-minded me. Welcome to the rabbit hole, the truth we see. There's lizard people everywhere, the conspiracies be.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, uninvited from the rabbit hole. The weak-minded sheep for the open-minded people, not the little but the weak. To the rabbit hole. You sure you wanna be?
We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
And for future generations.
Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a
New world order.
Treasure Island.
They never come back. And boy,
Yes, people, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the long-awaited recovery show of the Rabbit Hole Ramblings. I'm back here with my main man, Nikos. All of the drama of the last show is in the past, before us, beyond us, in the background. We're back doing some Rabbit Hole tonight. Guys, I don't know what's going on with regards my spin the wheel thing. We've got the spin the wheel up, right? But I've been downloading loads of videos, and I'm sure there were hundreds of videos that were stored in the rabbit wheel. And yet, when I've just loaded it all up, there's only 88 in there. So we've got enough to get us through tonight. But I don't know if they're the old 88 or if they're the new 88 or if that's actually correct. I don't know if there's a problem with the syncing of the downloads from Instagram and everything, but we're going to get into it no matter what. It's Friday night and we're here for a ramble. Big up to everyone. Please don't forget, you know what to do. Smash the likes, smash the subscribes, and hit the notification bell button. Comments can be dropped. Keep them friendly, as always. Mate Nikos, how are you, bro? Good to see you, mate. How you been? You okay?
Good, my friend. I apologise for the aesthetics. The camera here is having a mare, so I've got this kind of like black border, and I've turned it and turned it and turned it and switched it and turned it, and I've intaken it, and it ain't having it. So to participate in the rabbit hole tonight, you've got to bear with the black borders, old-fashioned.
It's almost like the shape of the Earth, mate. We can orientate it however we want, but no one's particularly clear on what exactly is going on with it, you know?
we can agree. No, the old Nikos is back, mate. Someone said in the comments there, is it the old Nikos? Don't worry. It's always been the same me. Don't worry. We're all friends here. Don't worry. Relax.
Listen, before we get into the rabbit hole wheel of fortune or misfortune, I don't know what these things are. I've got no idea what these things are. 200 jewels has been gifted. I don't know what these things are because apparently the Spurs Talk Show hasn't been offered the chance to add jewels to the show. If anyone can let us know what they are. But jamming is what one Spurs King is saying straight out of the traps. Are these money? Are they monetary things? Are they free gifts? I don't know what they are. I've got no idea what they are. I know I've seen other people doing them, but they're not available on the Spurs Talk Show. So I don't know. I've got no idea what they are. But big up to Spurs King for the donation, and big up to Kate and Jimbo for the donation as well. Big up to you. Hope you're okay. And also Rob Brown with the super sticker straight out of the traps. Great to see you all. Great. I missed you lot. There's 65 people in the chat already. It's a good one. If we can get over 100, there's been no plug-in. There's been no sharing of any links. I put a little thing out on Twitter, but it's just a minute ago. Big up to Rob Brown with the super sticker. Choo choo to you, bro. Super sticker train is well and truly commenced. We are already demonetized, by the way. I just checked on YouTube. They insta demonetized.
Monetized or demonetized?
Demonetized immediately. They put it straight to not safe for ads. They don't even know what we're going to talk about yet. They don't even know what we might talk about, you know?
You mentioned Flat Earth and it's like, boom, done.
No, I think it was because that intro song has the word reptilian in it.
Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what's been demonetizing it. Maybe that intro song needs changing.
But it's such a good song, though.
I must say, when I heard it there, like whilst you on the building up the show, I was like, missed the show. Good way to start a Friday night, for sure.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly, 100%.
But if it's demonetizing the show, maybe it's a good idea to maybe introduce maybe something a little bit more ad friendly. I don't know.
Nah, fuck it. I look at everyone throwing in these jewels. I don't know what these jewels mean. I honestly don't know what they mean. If they are people that are gifting things, if it's coming out of your pocket, then very, very grateful, guys. Very, very grateful because the show.
Turn into Pokemon.
Is that what it is? I've got no idea what it is because I can't even see what they are. All I can see on StreamYard is just like they look like super chats, but I don't know what they are. So I'll come back to them, guys, in a minute. Thank you so much for everyone who's supporting the show. Let's listen. Before we get into the spin the wheel thing, because it could go anywhere, and like I say, I honestly do not know if that stuff that's in the wheel. I mean, they're all good videos, whatever they are, because I found them at some point and thought they'll be good for the show. But I have no idea if they're up to date or not. So we'll find out, right? But I'll fix it for next week. Nikos, before we get into it, is there any sort of major talking points that we should cover off before we get into the random stuff? Any things that have happened in the world that are kind of light-hearted? It's not a light-hearted show. It is light-hearted, but obviously it isn't. When we talk about wherever we want to go here, let's obviously be a little bit careful because, you know, temperatures are high in the world right now. Obviously, what happened in is it called Quetta?
Yeah, Quetta down in it's the most northern point of Africa. And it's like one side of the Strait of Gibraltar. It's originally the part of the land that fables say Hercules split from mainland Europe. So it's a quietly contested part of the world, but it's actually in Africa, but owned by Spain, and has been Spanish since the 1600s. But there was an event that happened there last week, as you probably all may be aware, but 40,000 men, up to 80,000 men. So quite a vast amount of difference in what the reported number was. But there was an invasion on the border there. And a lot of them
all between the age of 18 and fucking 35, right? All fighting age men.
Yeah,
are they still in Quetta?
Yeah, there's actually a YouTuber. I don't know if many people know him. It's called Dutch Maniac or something. Dutch Traveling Maniac or something like this. He's a Dutch guy with tattoos all down his face. He actually went and done a report there the other day that I saw, and his government website was saying that there's only 1,000 people left there, and he was on the beach alone and he could see thousands of people. So I think what we're being told about how many people are still there and how many people actually were escorted back off is quite different. You know, they did remove a lot of them. The army did remove a lot, but I think there's a lot of people that are still waiting to be shipped on to mainland Europe. And the reason being is because if they're under
they're getting shipped over, are they?
Yeah, but the reason being is because they're actually, if they're classed as minors, they're not allowed to stay there. They have to be shipped somewhere for processing. So they're banking on being
they're all claiming that they're 15 years old.
Exactly, undocumented, 15 years old, even though some of them are like 6'5", full-grown beards and stuff. But if they class themselves as unvetted, undocumented minors, they have to go to mainland Europe to be processed. They can't be processed in Quetta. So I think what a lot of them are doing is they're banking on being shipped on to probably Spain.
And then pissing off into the unknown.
Yeah, and France. I know a lot of them they reported on, and the guy I spoke to was saying that France and Spain were the preferred destinations, and he was asking.
Hold up. You know where they're fucking coming, don't you? They're coming to fucking good old Blighty. They'll be here by the end of the week, bro. You know,
yeah,
40,000 Quaitans, Moroccans, or whatever, will be here before Tottenham get another bomber before the season starts. Because you don't get any hotels in fucking France. You don't get hotels in Spain. You come here straight in. Marriott 5-star. Welcome, people. Welcome.
It crossed my mind actually. It did cross my mind actually when they said that they was heading north into Europe. I thought, oh, they're heading to the UK. But a lot of them, I think their intentions are to go there for the benefits that they will get, no questions asked. And yeah, unfortunately, it's quite a sad state of affairs because it's only quite a small Spanish territory. Of about
you lot in Spain voted for the left wing government, right? That kind of. I mean, how are the Spanish nationals receiving it as like news? Are they like, well, welcome, or are they like, welcome, we didn't vote for this?
Yeah, mate, it's weird because I don't have too much of a connection with too many like Spanish people, like in terms of like large quantities of people. But a lot of the people I speak to are still in favour of this prime minister, president, and then there's a small selection of people which tend to be left leaning that are against him. So I don't know. I don't really have too much of a pulse on the politics here, to be honest. I tend to stay away from all. Well, generally try and stay away from politics apart from the last show. But,
Monday to Thursday, I take my kid to football training, do a bit of crypto training. Friday night, all bets are off. When the wheel spins, opinions are going to repine. You know?
Unfortunately, I kind of like went down the wrong path with that one. I just said an honest opinion that I think went down like a lead balloon. But, you know, unfortunately, opinions are opinions. I live in Europe, so I think maybe the perception of my opinion on that is maybe a bit unbalanced because you don't know what it's like, how difficult it's been here being a UK citizen as opposed to being a UK citizen, seeing what's happening coming in, you know. So again,
let's not rehash what happened last time, mate, because it was silly. It was all a bit of a joke. It was a bit of a joke, and then it just got out of hand. I was drunk. John came on and acted like picking a fight and stuff. It was my fault. I instigated it. So let's just apologies for everyone that didn't enjoy the show. But me and Nikos are. We're mates. We were mates again by the next day, so it's all fun and games. We did have a cracking fight backstage, didn't we? It was absolutely belting. You and I fucking. It was an absolute monster of an argument after the show.
If you could have filmed that actually and put that out, that would actually do more numbers than probably most of the shows. But
yeah, popcorn time.
It's all love, mate. It's all love. But we enjoy the show. It's one of the best shows on YouTube. I think it's your best work. So.
I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate you being on it. Couldn't do it without you, mate. Let's move away from the Quater thing because I, to be honest, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" But listen, I know there's conspiracy theories that are knocking around who instigated it and is it punishment for certain other things and all that stuff. But listen, I don't want to start the show down that trend. So if those sorts of things come up via the videos, then we can chew it over. But let's. There's no magnums tonight, Nathan. I'm knocked the magnums on the head, mate, because I genuinely think that they turn me into an aggressive person. I love them. They're very tasty. 2 of them, and I think I'm in my best form. 3, and I start to get a little bit rowdy. 4, and if anyone winds me up, I'm fucking itching for a fight, and I don't like that side of me. It comes out of me after 4 magnums, so
maybe just stop 2 magnums at home at a time, you know.
I can't do it, mate. Can't do it because there's a good deal on down the old Londis down where I live, where if you buy 4, yeah, you know. And maths have got a math, so and then I've got no restraint on me. Big up to everyone in the chat. There's nearly 100 people here. I'll come back and do some. There's a lot of these joules in the chat. So someone said 100 joules or 200 joules equals a pound or something. So okay, that's amazing. Thank you very much. So big up to jamming for the I think have you got to like. Okay, so the words that you use are not yours. Okay, they are. So big up to PMG 1986 for 500 joules. Big up to you. I'm gonna have to think of a word like joules for you, joules for us. Big up to you, royalty. Marzi 82, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Big up to you as well, mate. Very, very generous, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Choo choo. I can't say choo choo choo. It doesn't work because it's not choo choo train, is it? Big up to Kate. Big up to ching ching. Ching ching. Yeah, I'll do. Ching ching. Ching ching to Robbie Brown as well for the 100 joules. And Kate and Jimbo's put in another one. Ching 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 to you.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Jimbo.
Is that what we're doing, Kate and Jimbo? Ching ching.
We'll be going ching ching all night like a fruit machine. Ching ching ching.
I'm gonna get cancelled for being bloody like I don't know. Sounds a bit Chinese, doesn't it?
Maybe think of any recommendations for. Well, I can't even hear the audio or the comments, can you? So I don't know.
Give us a word. Well, I'll figure out some audio sort of thing. Big up to Kate and Jimbo as well. Big up to Jason T with a finger heart. Finger heart. Big up to you. Big up to you. Thank you very much, Jason. Ching ching. I love that, mate. That's going to get really annoying. Can't do that. Can't do that one anymore. It's going to get really annoying for everybody. James 119 in the house as well saying, let's go rambling. Appreciate you, mate. That is a super sticker. That's a super chat, actually. Big up to you, James. Appreciate you, mate. Mr. Just for the Lols has put in a couple of jewels. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Tony White's put in one as well. Laughing Disco. You guys are super cool tonight with this stuff. I've never seen these jewels before in my life. It's mental. Big up to Tommy White as well. Thank you so much. And he's put in another 6 jewels. Chili. Chin chin. Big up to you all.
Stop it.
I know, I can't. Yeah, so I change my mind all the time.
Have it.
Big up to Tony White as well, another one, mate. Thank you very much indeed. It's just like it's unbelievable generosity. Then I'll probably look later and it's like you've made 67 pence.
Has anyone ever seen that in the chat? Has anyone ever seen that on another show, or is it just exclusive to the Rabbit Hole where they're feeling sorry for the lack of advertising? So they're like, oh, let's give him something he can. I don't know, I've never
I
seen
don't know
it.
what it is. Got no idea what it is. But PMG is putting one in as well. Big up to you. Says, great. Big up to you, PMG. Thank you very much indeed. He's also put another one saying, clapping seal. Clapping seal. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Big up to you. And Side Dancers come in saying, jamming as well. Big up to you, mate. Very, very cool of you all. Andrew Burnett as well. Will scored a banger. What's that mean? I don't know what that means.
Lancashire. Well, Lancashire. They're playing.
Because
yeah,
it's the first game of the Carabao Cup tonight, isn't it?
yeah, Wrexham Middlesbrough. I was watching the first half.
And Will Lancashire scored a banger, mate. We're going to come to regret that. We are going to come to regret that. I swear to God, it's fucking winding me up. If he goes and scores 20 goals, we have let that kid go on the cheap. I swear to God. But we're not here to talk about fucking Tottenham. Let's do some rabbit holing, shall we? I don't know what this is. This was already launched up. Should we just play it and then we'll just see what happens? Let's see what happens.
Use of artificial intelligence or lavender by the IDF in identifying Hamas targets?
Look, I'm not, without going into all the, I'm not on top of all the details of what's going on in Israel because my bias is to defer to Israel. It's not for us to second guess everything, and I believe that broadly the IDF gets to decide what it wants to do, and that they're broadly in the right, and that's sort of the perspective I come back to.
Yeah, really didn't want to start with Israel. That's nothing to do with me. Let's move on. Come on, the rabbit. Let's go, rabbit. What are we doing?
While the war continues to escalate, Elon Musk is about to onboard 1 billion people in
All right, this is more up your wheelhouse, mate. Than mine these days. I've not been looked into crypto for a long time. Is Ripple gonna? I've heard for years that Ripple is the thing that's gonna make everybody rich, right? Like just own Ripple, buy Ripple, because it's gonna be the replacement to Visa and the replacement to all of the kind of cross-border transactions thing for the kind of central banking. Is that still the fact? Is that still the case?
Yeah. Ripple Labs actually is the spearhead of cross-border payment solutions. So if you're familiar with the banking system as it is now, the majority of payments go through SWIFT, especially for international payments.
Yeah.
And there's quite a big issue with a lot of the clunky mechanisms that have been in place since the 1950s. So this system is still in place. It's a legacy banking system, and sending payments can take a long time, cost a lot of money. And this is basically an instant payment service that they've created, and what they'll be doing is moving money around the world frictionless for nothing. So it will replace the old system. This was actually Elon Musk's original plan for what PayPal was meant to be. So many years ago, before he done all these big companies he got now, his first real big company was called X Money, and he sold it to the PayPal cartel, Peter Thiel. So it was always a plan that I think it was like 2002 or something. So this has been a long plan. But Ripple Labs themselves, they have a token that they're custodians of called XRP. And what people believe is that XRP will be the mechanism to move this money around, because it will be on ledgers, electronic ledgers. Like it'll be moneyless society, cashless society. If you've been in conspiracy world long enough, that's always been their game plan to make everything visible so that you can't hide transactions. But yeah, what that guy said there with Ripple Labs, if it ever IPOs, that's the one that you buy. I don't think it would ever IPO because they've got a war chest they're sitting on. But
No, why do they need to IPO when the entire currency,
the only
everything's
the
going
only
to
reason I think they would IPO is for exposure. So, but they've got so much money, they don't need to raise money. Whereas something like SpaceX that has IPO'd recently, it might be a big company, but it's very, very liquid shy for what it is. So I think the IPO was at 1.25 trillion, but
Yeah, it's fallen
yeah,
45
their quarterly results were something like 30 billion net revenue. So it's,
No, I mean, like, um, SpaceX loses. Like, they've got a price earnings ratio of like -65. So like, it's like you're not buying SpaceX for revenue or for like you're buying it for like a 10-year plan on all sorts of things like space data hubs and AI centers in space, whatever, all that bollocks, right? But I just want to stick on this for a second. So just before just before the peak, just before the crypto summer, they were trading at 50 pence. Then they peaked at around 342, just as it was approaching the end of the cycle, which happens every 4 years. It happens in November of the fourth year, and then it's collapsed back down to 50 to a pound to a dollar. If you're still on this train, are you still bullish on this?
yeah, actually, I've done really well in it. I was actually, before that big first spike there at 30 cents, I was actually loading up heavy at 30 cents. And this last summer, I sold quite a lot at over $3. So I managed to
well done.
reduce my profit down. I took a lot of profit at $3, and I've just started buying back in this year at like between 120 and 140. So there's opportunities now at $1, but from what I bought it at, what I sold it at, to where I'm at now, I've kind of done really well out of it. But I'm more believing like the vision of what it can provide. Some believe that that's got a real long-term plan of serious value, but
Thing is,
who knows?
I want it to fail, not because I want crypto to fail, but I don't want these motherfuckers to move us all to central banking, because the digital currency version of central banking is essentially tokenizing everybody's money, right? Where you only get a chance, like they're going to turn around and say, sorry, you can't have a stake this week, Nikos or Danny in the chat or Rowan or whoever else. You've had your stake, you've had your carbon credits and that's what terrifies me. Like I will go to war for very few purposes in my life. I wouldn't go to war for Ukraine. I wouldn't go to war for Israel or for Palestine or any of those World War III nonsense. I wouldn't do any of that shit, because you're fighting rich men's battles and it's all for nothing, right? It's all just demonic. But I would how do I say this in a way that's not going to get me cancelled? I would stand up and be counted in a resistance towards central banking digital currencies if the UK, or when the UK push that out, because I think it's once that happens, it's game over for all of us.
Fortunately, this is, I think, again, inevitability. I think this is just removing cash from society. This is a way of being able to seal the transactions. I don't know what will be the winners, but this looks like one of the companies that have created themselves a market that, unfortunately revolutionizes the way that money moves. The same way that the internet moved information differently. This is just a financial version of it, I think. So, but it's a good company. Like I was talking about there, it's a good company. It makes a lot of money. The PE ratios, because it's got not really any big overheads other than brick and mortar costs. Like if it can get a certain section and percentage of maybe the traditional banking system with derivatives, bonds, or anything like that. Like it's just
Getting micro cents out of every transaction. Yeah, for sure. I hate this narrative that the only way forward is central banking digital currencies. I'm up for decentralization, but I'm not up for centralized digital, because it becomes, like I say, it's tokenizing money, and then you can't buy or sell. That's the mark. It is the mark of the beast in just a different format, And
familiar with the term real world assets or real world tokenization. I've come across that a few times in finance. Like everything's going onto blockchain. Houses are doing it now. All different types
with everything. Everything. They're tokenizing everything. They'll tokenize oil. They'll tokenize gas. They'll tokenize property, real estate. They'll tokenize football clubs. They'll token everything. Anything and everything can be tokenized. But you know what? Anything and everything that already exists in equity can already be like you already have stock splits, right? Like Nvidia, for example, and Tesla have gone through, like, the idea of tokenizing things is essentially, the way it's presented is, oh, it's a way for everybody to get a small slice of a big thing that otherwise would cost you too much to get into. You can own a property by owning a fraction of the property. We'll tokenize that through digital. You don't need to. Just do stock splits on the companies that invest in properties. They already, all of the mechanisms and all of the value that is presented through digital currencies, with the exception of reducing the costs of cross-border payments, like, that is cheaper doing it digitally. But you can still you can still do that through a traditional mechanism. But anyone that sits there and says the value in going towards CBDCs is tokenizing things through the blockchain, you can already tokenize things by just doing stock splits in equities in asset classes that already exist. There is no need to do it. It's an absolute fucking farce, and I can't stand it.
It's the same concept of what we already have. It's just visible to anybody. It'll be public information. It'll be on a blockchain. So then you can go and check who's got what share of this, or who's got what percentage of this asset. It'll be public knowledge. Whereas right now, I don't think it's quite as easily accessible as that. I think you have to, like, go through a certain process to get access to information like that. If you wanted to find out how many shares Sean Butler's got in Apple, I don't think you can find out.
What you shouldn't be able to know how many shares of Apple I've got. I don't want it. Like, no one should be able to know what you're worth. Well, and it will never exist for the wealthy people, because they'll always find ways of doing it. There's videos that are in this list that will talk about gene therapy and sort of like looking into, like, taking skin cells off of people and saying you can create a mini clone of yourself, and those things, not that you can build a clone legally, but that you can do it to then build fake livers for your liver transplant because you're an alcoholic, which is something I'd be very interested in 2015, maybe 5 minutes time, depending on how far down the road I am. But all those things sounds good, but they're never going to be fucking available to you or me, Nikos. They're only ever going to be available to the people that want to live forever, because they know that when they die, they go to hell for the crimes that they've caused on this planet, right? The offspring of the Anunnaki, which we'll come to. It is winding me up. It is winding me up, Tony. Yeah, everything. Listen, at the moment, everything is winding me up. Is Eugene coming on? I haven't actually messaged him. I don't know if he's available. I can send him the old super chiddly, not the super chiddly chit chat, the StreamYard link in a minute. Let's whilst I'm doing that, let's spin the wheel, shall we? And let's see where we go with the next one. But yeah, I love a little bit of crypto conversations, Nikos, mate. Listen, it's always nice. We don't know where the spin the wheel's going to take us. Let's see where the rabbit takes us this time, shall we? What's this? What'd you make of that? Not a lot to go on, really. Just
They've got crazy, like, drones, though, small drones. I was actually out in the garden the other day, and there was this fly that was acting really weird, and it kept, like, coming close to my face and stuff. But usually you swat a fly away, and it kept coming close and close and close, and I was like, that feels weird. But yeah, that sort of stuff. I've seen videos on how small they're making these, drone cameras and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
the technology's moved on so fast.
It's a thing of the past, isn't it? Like, have you ever bought into the idea? That some of those wacky conspiracies out there that pigeons are not real.
Don't buy into it personally, but I have come across it a few times.
Have we found the conspiracy? Is that where Nikos draws the line? Pigeons.
No, I did come across it. There's like someone done like a conspiracy iceberg, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a piece of piss, And it got to like the lower levels of the iceberg, and it was like pigeons. I was like, oh, come on, you lost me on pigeons. I'm with most of it, 90% of it, but yeah, pigeons. Like, I don't quite get that one. That there's CIA pigeons flying around surveilling people.
Happen, though, mate. It might happen. They're definitely dropping. They're definitely dropping things. They're not necessarily robots, but they're definitely dropping bugs into areas, right? They're releasing those. Have you seen that? Bill Gates was doing the like. There's a new tick on the market, right? Like, in Lyme. Lyme in New York is where Lyme's disease initiated, right? There's ticks in Lyme. A friend of mine, when I was living in New York, who worked with me, he's from Lyme, and he has Lyme's disease. He was bitten by a tick, and so he's got it's a horrible fucking disease, by the way. Like, it's nasty as fuck. But apparently they've now found or reinvented or invented these ticks that when you're bitten by one, it makes you. It's almost like when you have when you're is it aquaphobic when you get bitten by a rabid dog, and you are you can't drink water. You know, when you see someone who's got rabies and they're trying to give them water and they can't drink it because it's like something, whatever happens to their body. Well, these ticks now, and they found boxes of them that have been released into like forest areas in rural areas in America, where these ticks are things that make you have a revulsion and an allergic reaction, a horrible allergic reaction to eating red meat. Because of course they want to fucking stamp out the need for cows, right? Because of the methane or whatever. I mean, a load of bollocks. You see that fucking volcano? Before I let you speak, sorry, that volcano that went off. Is it Mount Etna that's gone off in the last couple of days, right? And it's like more CO2 has been pumped into the atmosphere in like 24 hours than has been in like 200,000 years of humans' behaviour. And yet they're worried about fucking a couple of cows mooing too much and having a bit of a shit. What are we doing here? It's absolutely insane.
That was on the 30th of July. Guess who flew to Sicily on the 29th of July? My son flew to Sicily on the 29th of July. So I was like worried that volcano was going to erupt while he was away on vacation there, and he wasn't about to leave. Because if that volcano goes off, usually what happens is they close a lot of the airspace around that part of Mediterranean, because obviously it becomes difficult to fly through the volcanic ash. So I was really worried that he was going to be stuck there, you know, like on vacation. I wouldn't see him for like a few more weeks or months or whatever, you know, like. But I think that that part of it is you know, hyper volcanic. But I did see the volcano go off in Etna on the 30th of July. It's picturesque and stuff. Huh?
Your son's okay, I take it.
Yeah, he flew back tonight actually, so he got back all right. But so I was worried the whole week he was there. This last week, I was really, really worried that it was going to go off and like erupt and all this stuff, and then he was going to be stuck there.
It was going off, wasn't it? But I don't think it actually got to the point where it was lava, like fluent. Like it wasn't like lava. It was just like load of fucking crap getting spunked out into the atmosphere. Is that right?
All the plumes could be seen for like 60 kilometers away or something like that. I think there was a big explosion that is anticipated, I think. But yeah, when it went off on the day after he got there, I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, he's literally just got there. You know, what if that goes off whilst he's there? You know, like. It's notoriously bad for that particular part of Italy and Sicily and stuff like that. But yeah, that is coming though. That big volcano. It's been going off a lot actually. There's been lots of volcanoes going off over the last.
And every time it does it, it's the equivalent of like 10,000 years of humans' CO2, and yet they're worried about some fucking cows. Like it's mental. Like honestly, what is it going to take for the average human being? And we've got to talk about Fauci, by the way. We have to talk about. I don't even know if Fauci's in here because, like I say, I don't know how old these videos are. Like the spin the wheel thing might not be that spectacular tonight. I'm gonna have to figure out where the video. I'm downloading loads of videos and they should be getting put into there, but they're not seemingly. So they're hiding somewhere else on my computer. But can we talk a little bit about fucking trust the science for a minute, mate? Because fucking hell, I was watching this. King mass murdering, allegedly, arsehole, Fauci, telling us all to trust the science, telling us all that you're a bad people like Piers Morgan, telling everyone that they're moronic idiots and asinine arseholes that are killing everybody else. Like, where's the apology? Everybody trusted this donut. Like, people like Piers Morgan actually wind me up more than people like Fauci, because Fauci is just a paid shill, right? And he is what he is. He's got his fucking pardon, and then we're going to talk about what he does. But Piers Morgan, not only does he piss me off because he's an Arsenal fan, but he waits until it's safe to jump to one side of the oche, right? He's always on the safe side, and then as soon as public opinion goes, nah, we've all woken up and we're over here now, he fucking tries to slither across unnoticed like he's always been over there. And then when people go, mate, none of us forget what you said about us, the people that didn't get the vaccines, the people that didn't fucking bow down to the powers that be. And he still doubles down and goes, I've apologised, get over it, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm like, mate, there's nothing you can apologise. You should be so ashamed. You should piss off into the wilderness and like just vanish, because what Fauci has done, and he had the audacity, Morgan had the audacity to call out Fauci. He had the audacity to call him out. Like, don't do that, bro. You were calling everybody that called him out before horrible, horrible human beings that are killing people's grandmothers. It's you, and it's that fucking idiot scientist that was doing that bollocks. You know?
If there ever was a person that fitted your flip-flop jingle, like public figure, Piers Morgan would be that guy. But he does it willingly. He does it acknowledging, knowing that he's just on the right side of public opinion. So he has his own beliefs, but he's probably on side with what's going on, but he likes to play the fit. Mate, it's horrible to watch it. But Fauci, did you see the Congress thing with Fauci in the Senate like 2 weeks ago, right?
Just took the fifth.
111 times he pleaded the fifth after being given a pardon. He was actually held in contempt of Congress yesterday. There was a vote 8-5.
Yeah, but you know why he did what he did, right? Because you're not allowed to plead the fifth if you've been given you're not officially allowed to, right? But his lawyers said to him, there's essentially 3 outcomes here. One is you plead the fifth on everything, so no one gets to know any of the actual answers to the questions that are asked, and then there's a chance that you will be held in contempt of Congress, of which the punishment is a slap on the wrist. Your reputation will be ruined, but you've made your 100 million quid. You're 85 years old, however old you are, nearly 90, right? Who cares, right? Number 2 is you answer the questions and you tell the truth, so that you can't be found to be lying under oath, right? So if you tell the truth, but the truth could then wind up with you being sued or prosecuted on state level crimes, because your pardon doesn't extend to state level crimes, it only extends to federal crimes. And number 3 was you answer the questions but you lie, and if those lies get found out, then you will be held as lying under oath, of which the maximum penalty is in fact a prison sentence. Now, he would never go to prison anyway, he's too old, but he decided that the lesser of 3 evils for him is to plead the fifth, and his reputation is ruined, and he'll be held in contempt of Congress, of which the punishment will just be essentially a slap on the wrist.
Mate, he said so much wild stuff.
Disgrace, mate. I believe that my dad got cancer because of those jabs, right? I believe my dad's wife has now just been diagnosed with having a tumor on her kidney, on her lymph gland, and she's only 50 odd years old, right? 55 years old or something. So she's in a lot of strife. And both of those 2 are people that took like every single jab, every booster, because they were kind of, hook, line and sinker caught up in it. Everybody on the chat, I'm sure there's over 100 people here. I'm sure you all know someone whose granny passed away or whatever. Because like this guy, his decisions led to all of that. Not only the things he did when the thing existed, but he was responsible for the thing coming out in the fucking first place, right? He was his actions with regards playing around with viruses. What's the phrase called? What's the phrase called when they like make natural viruses more dangerous? I forget what it's called. Do you know the phrase I'm talking about?
Sorry.
I forget what it's called. It'll come back to me in a second. When they piss around in the Wuhan lab and that, they piss around with viruses to gain of function. That's it, right? So like it was him that was doing all that. With taxpayers' money, they couldn't do it in the US because it would be illegal, so they did it in China, and then suddenly the fucking thing comes out. So the problem started with him, the reaction was controlled by him, and the solution was demanded by him, and millions of people around the world died, and this guy gets to make hundreds and hundreds of millions of quid and then doesn't get to even have to answer the fucking questions around how it got to be the way it was. Like, if there was a special place in hell for someone like him.
Mate, it's been in the works for decades. Like, he's probably been part of the plan for decades, which is why he's been held in his position of what he's been doing, like for all the different presidents in America. But did you ever see the Jesse Ventura show, Conspiracy Theory? It was out in like the late 2000s, I think. There was a particular show he done about an exact scenario of a pandemic, and there was a doctor that flew in from Mexico because she was scared to live in the UK. She actually flew in and said there'll be a pandemic that's released, there'll be vaccinations that will be given to people, these will be the kills. She actually said it word for word and then flew back out the country. And this was in 2007 or 2006, something like this, like 20 years ago. So it was something that's been in the works for a long time. But yeah, it's scandalous. Like, this guy, when he went into Congress, obviously to say his piece, he didn't want to incriminate himself anymore. He said so much wild shit over that period of time. People just lapped up everything he said. He probably can't remember what he said. And there's video evidence of everything he said. So he probably thinking, plead the fifth on everything. And if I get held accountable in contempt of court, it's probably better than lying now and getting caught out that way. So, mate, it's scandalous. I would love for there to be accountability for the people who have been harmed. I feel sorry for your dad and like everybody who's been affected. You know, like I've lost loved ones because of it as well. I just wish more people would have listened. You know, but who knows? We just want accountability.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
100%.
I just want accountability. I want people to go to prison. I want to see people hung. I want to see the truth come out. You know.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I just think that guy, that the fact that he can just do that, it's just great. The fact that they gave him a pardon as well, like that shouldn't be like certain pardons shouldn't be given. And you've got fucking Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, walking around like doing fucking podcasts with Candace Owens.
Podcasts now, yeah.
And all it's like podcasts, and it seems like people seem to latch onto him. I don't know if it's bots in the comments, but people are like, no, he's smart, Hunter Biden. He's funny. He's really clued up. You know, it's like he's going to make a move for politics in a few years' time. Like this guy was like, I mean, some of the things that were on his laptop. You know,
I mean, mate.
Anyway.
We've all kind of been in those situations. Like, I'm not gonna like pretend we're all innocent, you know. Like, we've all had that kind of like type of fun to a degree, you know. Maybe not quite the extent of it.
For sure. No issue with doing drugs. Like, if he's that's like we all. I mean, not everyone, but like whatever. But I just mean like the geezer's part of a family of people that are. I mean, the Trumps no better than the Bidens. They're all the same. Any political family, they are all a disgrace. But you can't be letting that geezer. Because some of the stuff on his laptop looked like he was into some proper fucking weird stuff, you know.
Some very dodgy shit. But yeah, mate, I don't like to see the fact that he's into all of this. Like, he's got a big PR campaign behind him right now to make him into some sort of like social media influencer, and I think a lot of his like audience is prepaid for bots and stuff like that to try and make him look bigger than what he is. I've seen a couple of little things that he's done, and he actually makes a joke about all that stuff that he done. Like all the things that were on that laptop, he's like, yeah, it was all real. Yeah, I was having a good time. I was a young man. I was having fun and stuff. And people are like, oh, fair enough. If you just said that at the time, you know, maybe people would have been a bit more accommodating. But obviously it would have derailed his father's complete campaign of presidency, you know? Because obviously that come out a month before.
Like, I don't care about him smoking crack and doing blow and getting all the prostitutes, like that, whatever, okay? Like, that's, you know, that's fine. But, I mean, there's like a hell of a lot of footage around him with his niece, you know, like tattoos on the girl's ankle that also were picking the same. You know, I'm not going to get into it. That's definitely going to we already demonetized anyway, but I'm not still going to say it. But like, it's beyond inappropriate. Let's move on. Yeah.
What's an acting performance that was so good you forgot it was acting?
They're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in.
Okay. So my name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
This was Sandy Hook, right? This was the people are saying that I'm quiet. Am I? I don't know what's going on with my mic. Hopefully it's okay. Let me know. Is everyone okay hearing me and hearing Nikos? Is that okay? So this guy is. Did you see the start of the video? Then let me start it again.
Yeah. This is one of the fathers of the Sandy Hook thing that happened in the school in America. I've seen this before actually a few times. I think, not to spoil it, but doesn't he walk away, start laughing, and change his whole demeanour?
No, as he was walking up, he was shaking people's hands, going, "Hey, yeah, how you doing? How you doing?" Giving a little high five, and then he goes, 3, 2, 1. This is what Alex Jones. This is one of the things that Alex Jones based his initial suspicion on, that it wasn't how it was made out to be. You know, now obviously people were, you know, unalived in that whole event, but there's still a lot of questionable behaviour, right? Same with Erica Kirk. Whether or not she had anything to do with her husband's death, maybe not. I don't know. I've got no idea. I haven't looked into it that much. I watch a lot of Candace Owens stuff, and she's convinced he should. But either way, there's always questionable behaviour. That just the story never is simple, is it? There's never a simple story when anything kind of like that major happens. It's just never a simple story where there's an obvious guy that's doing a bozo thing, and then everybody that's a victim acts like a victim should. There's always something in the story which makes you go, that's not how it would. No one would behave like that. No one would. Like Erica Kirk fucking walking out with like t-shirt guns or whatever, you know.
Yeah, mate.
You wouldn't do that 72 hours after your beloved husband passed. You wouldn't. And that guy, his daughter or sister or whatever it was that passed away in Sandy Hook, I'm not saying it didn't, she didn't, but if she did, you wouldn't be walking up to the podium with a fucking Cheshire grin on your face, giving people hugs and high fives and like making out like it's your 5 minutes of fame and then putting on the act. It just wouldn't happen like that. No one can tell me that stuff is normal.
Yeah, be careful when you say about this subject, because literally Alex Jones lost his whole empire because of this one particular conspiracy, you know, so it's quite a contested subject.
I'm not claiming anything. It happened. It definitely happened.
There is such a thing. It's been proven as a conspiracy fact that the governments conduct false flag operations to sway public opinion about certain subjects. You know, Dunblane in the UK was actually quite a big one where they took away the guns from the UK. But, you know, like I said, like you can't like, you've got to be it's quite a controversial subject still, you know, to a certain degree.
One of the girls who was unalived at Dunblane went to my school. So I'm pretty sure that was legit. But I don't know, in America, I take your point. It always feels like there is something. It just doesn't, like, no one ever seems to behave the way that you would think a normal person would behave. The story's just never simple. There's always something that makes you go, I don't know.
Well, to answer the video, like, what's your best acting performance from somebody you know it's lying? Like, my one in particular was Maddie McCann's dad, and parents actually. Like, whenever you see them on the news, when you go back and watch the videos now, if you're a body language expert and you can watch one of these people who are, like, there's lots of people out there who actually dissect the videos going back from like 20 years ago. Like, you can see, like, it's quite obvious when they point out like the obscure things they're doing. Like, that guy's just a great example of it. But yeah, a lot of these people give themselves away their body language. But can you think of one off the top of your head where you think, oh, that guy's blatantly lying about something that's very important, or national news? Or
yeah, there's loads, mate. There was loads of things. I remember, like, even stupid shitty things like the like when they were talking about a tornado or a hurricane or whatever that was coming into Charlotte in North Carolina. I was in America at the time, right? And I was in Charlotte. I was in Charlotte doing some work, and there were people that were like on Huntington Beach. I think it is not Huntington Beach. One of the beaches in Charlotte. And there was guys that were out there doing, like, they were doing the video, the CNN was there doing the video, right? And they're like, he's trying to walk into the wind. He's like, it's crazy here. It's absolutely insane.
There's people strolling behind him.
And there's people strolling behind them with their dogs. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? Like, you know, it's theatre. It's theatre. I'm sure we've done it on this show as well. Like, in Palestine. And again, I don't know which side this was being supposed to represent. It might have been the Palestinians that were acting up here, but there was women that were picking up breeze blocks, and there was people doing a news interview going, yeah, absolutely insane. Like, the bombs came in here, and this is a church, and it's been absolutely smashed or whatever. And there was some like 6-stone soaking wet woman in the background just picking up breeze blocks, just doing that. She had like 10 of them. I was like, oh, come on. You know, but like, if it happens at that level, if it happens, like, listen, I believe that personally, I think that 9/11 was the start of a lot of this. I think that whole story was a load of gunk, and everyone just moved on because 9/11 was before the internet really kicked on, right? Really kicked on. But that thing was the start of all of it. And the fact they got away with that one, I think they got a little bit cocky and started going, we can get away with anything, you know? And I think that I genuinely do believe that most tragic disasters that happen, that are needle-moving disasters, are used, if they are real, they are used as opportunities for people to further their own agendas. but also a lot of them are nothing like what the story is represented as. I genuinely think there is more inside jobs than outside jobs in some of these terror attacks.
Someone asked there to give a couple of examples of like false flags. I mean, if you're off the top of my head, the USS Liberty in the 1940s was proved to be a false flag. Boston bombings has now been proved to be a false flag. Even something as recent as what we spoke about at the turn of the show, you know, what's happening in Ceuta down in the south of Spain, that is going to turn out to be some sort of type of false flag because it's an orchestrated event that sways public narrative in a way and has a benefit for somebody and not for somebody else. But it's a conspiracy fact, you know. Like if you're into conspiracies, there's been lots and lots of Sandy Hook that you mentioned there, and all the school stuff, like I said, Dunblane and stuff. They all can be categorized as potential false flags, but ones that have been proven in the court of law, USS Liberty, Boston bombings, JFK. You know, there's so many of them now that you can say, yeah, governments are involved in swaying public opinion for support. So false flags are a real thing.
I'm not saying that like there's not bad people out there that want to do harm to, like that are like legitimately on the other side, but I genuinely think that so much of the things that are meaningful, like not the things that, like, you know, if someone drives a van through a crowd of people, right, that's meaningful for a moment. It's obviously incredibly meaningful for the people that are the victims, and it creates like a bubble of local news, and it can obviously stretch further for people that want to take advantage of it. But I'm talking about the moments in the timeline where they're sliding doors moments, where these things happen and you go, and everyone goes, do you remember where you were? Well, do you remember that when COVID happened? Do you remember where you were when 9/11 happened? Do you remember where you were when 7/7 happened? Do you remember where you were? Whatever it might have been, right? Like the London bombings, the 9/11, loads of things. I genuinely believe that those things are too important and too meaningful for the timeline, for the powers that be to see those things happen and then react the way that they do, like that, and then everything changes as a consequence. I think that those things are planned, and if those things are planned, then it might still be the other side that are enacting them. Pearl Harbor, another example, right? Like that might have been the Japanese that did it, but or it might have been America that organized it. But either way, America at least knew about it to some degree and let it happen because there were power plays that happened as a consequence that were too quick and too well orchestrated and too well designed. And if it was completely out of the blue and no one saw it coming and it wasn't some level of inside job, then the timeline the time it would have taken for the consequences to have taken place as they did would never have happened as quickly as they did. Like for me, most major events in this world that reshaped our lives have to be to some degree orchestrated.
It just makes sense, you know. Like if you just think logically, like you want to get something to happen, you need to make it like that. You know, it's just how the world works. You know, you can be naive to it and think it doesn't happen, but it does. You know, there's lots of examples, and maybe on one of the later shows we can bring some of our potential false flag evidence to the table. But it's an operation. The governments have admitted that they do it. So, like, you don't have to say it's conspiracy and doesn't happen because governments have actually single-handedly got documents that say they do this stuff. So it's just what it is. But you've got to be able to see it in real time. Like legislation changes the next day after an event. Generally, that's a good indication that this was some sort of type of false flag, you know?
Yeah. Like, and people in my life that turn around and go, mate, everything's not a conspiracy. I'm like, you're right, not everything's a conspiracy, but all the big stuff, 100%. It is. Because they've always got the plans in place the second it happens to put things into action.
Yeah.
You know, 100%. There'll be something that will be the trigger to demand everyone to get, because digital ID in the UK was pushed out, then it was rolled back, right? Everyone changed their mind because the reaction was. There'll be something that will happen that will mean that the obvious answer is digital ID, whether it's a giant terror attack in the UK and they'll go, well, we would have known, we would have known the identities of those people. We would have stopped them. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because you haven't been checking their passports. You haven't given a shit about any of this stuff for the last 20 years. It wouldn't be digital ID that would have solved it, because if you have the need, if you have the purposes or the desire to come in, you're going to come in anyway, right? Like, central banking digital currencies will come in. If there's a resistance towards it, it will take a terror attack or some sort of mechanism. It'll be something like a bank robbery.
Financial event. It'll be a financial event. It has to be a financial, like, what do they call it? It's there's a phrase for it. It's
like a black swan event.
Yes, it's called. It's got a real specific name. I can't think of it. It'll come to me in a minute. I need to take some of your pills. The thing where you remember like things, but there's a. Oh God, it'll come to me. But yeah, basically a black swan event financially that will end up needing some sort of type of regulation and for the government to step in.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be like 2008, but twice as big. And they'll say, "Oh, the only way to go forward now is blockchain," and everyone will go, "Oh, okay. Does that mean I'm going to get my money back?" Yeah, we'll give you some money back, but it won't be money; it'll be tokens. And everyone, all the nodding dogs will go, "Oh, that'll do. I just need my pension. It's just it winds me up."
The term I was thinking of is called a fire sale. They actually showed you, I think, in one of the Die Hard movies. But basically, a fire sale is when utilities and financial organizations and utilities all go down together. And then there needs to be some sort of type of regulation and control to see that doesn't happen again in the future. It's called a fire sale. And it's like the foundations and fundamentals of a country to run.
Yeah,
Fire
and there was a
sale.
fire sale in 2008, and yet Goldman Sachs, who were the orchestrators of the fire sale, still
Fire
managed
sale.
to get paid out 100 cents in the dollar.
Yeah.
Let's move on. See what the
Move
next
on.
thing is.
Go.
Spin the wheel! Spin the wheel!
You know what, mate? That's all about Satan and Satanism. The Satan.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's about. It was about the Donald Trump assassination attempt that wasn't in the White House ballroom. But that guy is like a French conspiracy theorist who does this. Who does always this. He's connecting the dots, and he's basically saying that the guy who did that, Cole Allen, so some random Twitter handle that was set up in like 2018 or 2019. He only ever posted one post, and it said Cole Allen, and his profile picture had a picture of the gecko thing, and he also had like his banner had this picture. It was a picture of a painting that was like this kind of mosaic, and if you sort of look into the mosaic a little bit, it's a picture of Donald Trump when he had he did the kind of fight thing after his ear was shot off. Long story short, it's basically, and I think the picture was called Time Travel or something. It's essentially suggesting that the geezer who owned that Twitter account, who also happened to be someone who worked in AI for ChatGPT or something, or worked for CERN or something like that. Long story short, it's a load of like innocuous kind of circumstantial stuff that it's clever, but I don't think it's true. If you haven't seen it, then we'll move on.
I have seen it actually. I think we talked about one of the previous shows. You know the hat when you graduate, you have the square black hat.
Yeah,
That's represents Satan as well. I remember we talked about Satan. Satan stuff.
That's the black cube of Saturn, which
Exactly.
is Satanism. You know,
That's more up your alley than me, mate. That one.
hey, Satanism. Listen, I've got to do a video on Satanism
Yeah.
because, like, it's for me, the rings of Saturn are a frequency that interacts with the moon. And oh, by the way, I was looking into your soul catching thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff out about that, isn't there? There's like a lot of books that were written about like the idea that when you die, your soul gets recycled and stuff. It's quite a fascinating story.
It's quite hard because I've been like, obviously, like in Christianity, like, they believe in reincarnation. So my son's asking questions about death and stuff like that right now. So I've taught him like the basics of Christianity, where you die, you get reincarnated, you go to heaven, Jesus cleans you and sends you back as a baby. He's like, I don't want to come back as a baby. I want to come back as a 5-year-old. I like being 5. I don't want to come back as a baby and stuff like that. But I always think, at some point when he's old enough, I've got to have this conversation about the reincarnation trap, you know, because obviously it's in all the text, it's in all the scripture, it goes against pretty much everything I believe in.
Is there a problem with coming back round again though? Well, I've had a pretty good life. I know the chances of getting born into the circumstances that I've had are pretty unreasonable. Like of the 9 billion people on this planet, I lucked out more than probably, you know, like all of us that are watching this probably lucked out more than 8.8 billion people that are alive now. And certainly being born in this timeline is better than. I guess maybe what the argument is that we've already gone round the traps probably 1,000 times, right? Like we've been here since day one, you know. But
if you can negotiate when you get there, I'm going to try and negotiate because I'm a good salesman. I'm going to try and negotiate, and if I can come back with some memory and maybe come back with some sort of Steve Jobs, Elon Musk type of legacy, then maybe I'll come again. But if it's a case where you come back completely brainwashed and you know memories completely wiped, I'm like, nah, I'm going the other way. So
I wonder whether like. I don't mind the idea of reincarnation, but then I also don't know about the kind of karmic trap. Like if your deeds in this go round, you know, equal what you get in the next go round. You know, like so maybe the fact that all of us that are watching this were relatively lucky compared to how you could have been born, in what country you could have been born, with any disabilities, your intelligence levels, parents that you have, whether you got lucky or unlucky, all that stuff. Then if it's all based on karma, then maybe we were pretty good people in the last go round, you know, and that we did some good things, which tells you that your soul therefore is capable of doing of being less of a selfish bastard and more of a giving guy, right, or giving girl. But then you start to go, well then if I, you know, have I been good enough in this go round? But if I was good enough in the last go round and it's my same soul, then why wasn't I better in this go round? So, and also, like, it's a lot easier to be a good person if you are fortunate. If you're someone that's like born into bad circumstances, then it's a lot more difficult to be a good giving person. You're more likely to be selfish. You're more likely to be see you next Tuesday. You're more likely to be all about yourself because you know that no one else is going to give you anything, right? So I can't get on board the logic of karma if it's based on life cycles of the human psyche, because it's far easier to be a good person in a set of circumstances where you've benefited from, you know, the upbringing which you were afforded. I'm sure if I was born in like Somalia,
that's what I was going to say. Chances are, if you
Somalia, but the chances are I'd be a bit more of an arsehole, right? Because I'd have less going for me. I'd have less opportunity, and I'd be more of a taker than a giver. Not that I'm a particular giver now, anyway. To be honest.
Depending on the time frames, how long it takes to get reincarnated, if you come back the next day or next week or whatever, you know, like I imagine it's quite a quick turnaround. But chances are, if this is the last 2 or 3 times we've been reincarnated, if that is what happens, we've probably gone through a pretty shitty life, you know, like the previous lives have probably been pretty shitty. So kind of like wake up every day and count your blessings for what you have got right now rather than what you don't have. Like a lot of people are very ungrateful in this world right now. They're very much entitled, I think, you know, compared to what maybe we could have been like in the last previous cycles or lives, you know, we've had. So I don't know. I try and wake up positive every day for what I do have, what I don't have, and I think a lot of people live like that these days. But there are a lot of people who don't. So, like I said, I'm going to get to the gates. I'm going to get to the decision maker. And I'm going to see what he says. But yeah, what did you find out when you did your research? What did you find out? What was your takes from it?
No, it's similar to what you told me. Essentially, that I didn't get to the part where it talks about the dark light and the like walk away from the light and seek the darkness or whatever. Because that's a bit of a head fuck for me. I don't know if I could like my natural instinct. If I'm dead and I suddenly like my aura or whatever it is, my soul sort of rises up, and then there's like it's just darkness, and then there's a light over here. You know, people naturally gravitate towards the light, don't they? They want to go and see what's going on. You know, like a fucking moth. You know.
I think it's a crossroads. I don't think it's like a case of just there's a light over there, let me head there. I think it's a case of a crossroads, and I think that the light is enticed you, and it's there and designed for a reason for you to head that way. But you have to have like that kind of like intuition to not go that way, or at least in this lifetime before you die, at least anticipate that's what you're going to be faced with when you do die.
I don't know if the logic's like I don't particularly want to live in a post-life environment where you have walked away from the ability to see something. Like if moving to the light gets you sent back around again, but like if what you're saying is true, that like you avoid the light and you stay in the darkness, That ain't fun either, is it? Like, who the fuck wants to live in the dark?
From what I can understand, is like you have to reclaim your sovereignty. So when you get to that point, it's not a case of just heading away from the light. At that point, you make a conscious decision to regain your sovereignty, and that's how you free your soul. So probably the videos you found, and probably the people you've watched and you've researched onto, they probably say something along the lines of you have to say some sort of type of sovereignty release of your soul, and you have to disagree with the potential of going back round again. And I think you're given freedom of a choice at that point.
The problem is the people that are out there putting these videos out there, I just don't have a lot of respect for them. Like they're not like I don't know where they're getting their information, but B, they're not the sort of people that I would buy a book from on the street. They're not the sort of person that I would, they're like, how do I say it in the nicest possible way? They're not good salespeople. You've got to dress for the job you want, the job you have. And I feel like people that sort of are selling that bullshit. I'm not saying it's bullshit. It might be spot on, but like,
how do they know?
If you want to get the message across, brush your teeth a little bit. Put on a little bit of aftershave.
The question that always crosses my mind is when I watch these people and because I see a few of those videos, I didn't get my conclusion from these people. They just happen to be popping up more recently that I've been seeing. But when they're talking conclusively about the outcome, I'm like, how the fuck do you know? Like, I come across it
how do they know? How do they know?
Yeah.
They don't know.
So they don't know. They obviously don't know. But for somehow they've found this information. Maybe it's a conscious thing. Maybe your soul finds it.
They read a fucking few books, right? They read a few books that said the same shit. But like, you can read a book about the moon landings, and you can read a book about the moon fake landings.
Yeah.
Which one you want to believe is up to you. But just because a book, this is one of the problems that I have with people that say, listen, I don't trust the recent maps, but I do trust a map that was written in 1750. I'm like, well, that geezer might have been fucking drunk as a skunk. That geezer, we don't know. We don't know. Why are we giving more credit? It's the same with the Bible. No disrespect to anyone that's in the Bible. Like I'm trying to find religion, and I feel like I'm more closer to getting there than I ever have been in my life. But just because a book was written a couple of thousand years ago doesn't mean it's any more real than Dan Brown. Like, what are we doing here? Like, time doesn't equal truth.
I think you resonate with certain information as well. I think that's a thing to try and pick up on. It's like you will read something and you'll read something else, but you will naturally be drawn to something. And I think that's your soul leading you a little bit. So when you do resonate,
I don't trust my draw, mate, because I'm naturally drawn to doing cocaine on a Friday night. That doesn't mean it's a fucking good thing for me.
I'm just saying. I think I think you've got an internal guide that it can't speak to you, it can't talk to you. But when you feel something in a pit of your stomach, when you're researching something that you feel is right, even though it goes against a lot of what you believe or you've been told, I think listen to that instinct. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just that's one of the things.
My instinct to believe would be stronger if it wasn't for the fact that the people that are talking to me are dressed like they haven't washed their hair in fucking 40 years.
In the dressing gowns.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, come on now. Let's do some super chiddly chit chats, and then we'll move on to the next video. Big up to Kale Darnage with 10 joules. Big up to you, mate. I don't know what all this, but I think that's 10 pence. Big up to you, bro. Really appreciate you. Chudini saying good show. It's a good channel. Good channel. Big up to you, Chudini. Very, very grateful, mate. It's a nice one as well. Big up to you, bro. Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you. I'm gonna get me and Nikos we're gonna get some. I'm gonna buy a couple of baseball hats, like flat caps. I don't know if you fancy one of these, Nikos, with the black bottom with the rabbit hole with the logo of Alice and Alice looking down the. You want to get one, mate? I'll send it out to you over in.
Mate, I'll rep it internationally for you, mate. Don't worry. I'm not that much of a hat guy, to be honest. I like to try and keep my golden hair exposed to the sunlight. But I'll happily take any gifts that come my way and represent the rabbit hole because I do love this show. I think it's one of the better shows on YouTube, and I do like the organic way it's grown and the people in the chat. So if someone stops me in the street one day and says, "What's that on your hat?" I'm going to go, "You want to watch this? Subscribe," So I'll rep it internationally. But yeah, of course, all gifts accepted.
No, of course, yeah. Like I said to you last time, mate. I mean, the channel doesn't make any money, but what money it has made, we'll put it into a couple of little gifts.
We're not here for the money, mate. We're here to entertain, talk some conspiracies, have a bit of fun, have a laugh, mate. It's not about the money. For me personally, it's not about money. It never has been about money.
Big up to Kale Darnage again with another one. He says, "Press F, press F." All right.
Oh, do me a favour, plug my channel.
Oh yeah.
It's not about money. Plug my channel.
Can you send me your link into the private chat whilst I do these super chats, and then I'll plug it. Sorry, I completely forgot about that, mate. Big up to Kale Darnage. Big up to Kale. Thank you very much. You put another one in saying chili. Big up to you. 6 Jules. 1J8. Big up to you. 1J says hiding. I don't know what these things are. Like, do you get to say what you're saying, or are these just words that like get thrown out? Well, big up to you, mate. Thank you very much. You put another one as well saying GGez. GG Good game, easy. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. And Jason T's put in something 10 jewels as well, saying gold coin. Big up to you. I've got to look into what these jewels are and why they are not available on the Spurs Talk Show. I don't know. And then look who we've got here. Big up to Blaine Devlin, my man. Fucking hell, bro.
Wow.
There you go. There's a couple of hats there.
Thank
Big
you,
up to
Blaine.
you, mate. Thank you so much, Blaine. You're an absolute legend. He says, I demand mud flood ramblings or multiverse theories as presented by Eugene. Well, Eugene's not here today. He's not here today, mate, but he'll be back. I messaged him and said, do you want to come? And he said he's doing something. He said, next time, let me know earlier and they could be there. Yeah, well, I love Eugene. Hopefully he can come on next time. In fact, I want him dressed up in tweed jacket, leather patches on the elbows. I think he's the sort of guy that wears a leather jacket with tweed patches on the elbows. You know, he does it. Everything about Eugene's a little bit, inverted, I reckon. Love Eugenie. Love you, Jim. Shame he can't be here. Maybe he'll pop on. You know, he's got a habit of popping on at certain points, doesn't he? Pipe in mouth.
See him dressed in a tweed jacket. I'd like to see him dressed in a tweed jacket, I must say, and a spectacle.
It'd be lovely.
Maybe a cane.
I can't wait to meet Eugene. I can't wait to meet him at some point. Hopefully he'll come over and see us this season.
Mud floods a great subject, though. Mud floods for me, like, that's something I spend like a lot of time, even when I'm not doing shows or whatever. Like, mud floods just fascinates me that the world has completely missed that. Like, there's so many things they're still uncovering now that would explain so much stuff. Like, the mud floods is fascinating. It obviously was an event that happened, and history is just. Huh?
You think? Do you believe in like the mud? But the mud flood is one thing, but the idea that like I've seen like the Tartaria thing that's attached to the mud flood thing. For me, is a stretch.
The Tartaria was just a civilization that existed, but the mud flood event was something that helped them erase that controlling empire of that time. You know, like this is not the same subject, but a lot of the technology was advanced back then, and the mud flood helped them decimate.
But this is the problem. I've got no problem with the idea of there being previous. I completely believe that there were previous civilizations that were far more advanced than us, right? The Egyptians, like the pyramids, for example, right? And whatever happened in Göbekli Tepe. Like, the timeline of history is fucked up. It's completely wrong. Completely agree. 100%. But when the mud flood angle that Americans present and then they go, look at the World's Fair in Chicago and look at these buildings that were in America in 1845 and like they built these houses that were built for prisons or they were built for people that have mental asylums, all that sort of thing. I'm like, okay, to Americans, where America is like super youthful as a country, I can kind of get it if their only source of information is the age of America. But like, you go to Budapest with the kind of like the architecture that goes back to the 1600s that is just insanely beautiful, insanely incredible to look at, and essentially similar in standards to whatever was going on in America in 1850. But like everybody in Europe has the timeline of their genealogy. Like you like there wasn't a fucking like a memory wipe of history in Europe, and we were capable of building those sorts of things 300 years ago. We were capable, and it doesn't require there to be some civilizational wiping of history for that to be the case, because you can trace your genes back. Like I say, my brother did a genealogy thing on our blood, and we found out that we're apparently linked to the Earl of Ormond, who goes back to like the 1300s or something. So like,
well, the theory goes, the way to explain that is the increased usage of orphanages and asylums. So when you go back to the 1800s and 1900s, asylums were the most populated they've ever been in history. Now they're completely eradicated. Same as orphanages. So there was some sort of type of control mechanism that the governments had where if you contested the change in the narrative of history, that you was placed in these insane asylums and separated from your children who went to orphanages. So there is some sort of type of plausible evidence that they did control the narrative of the change of events. But again, that's just something you have to kind of get into research-wise. Sonny said they're in.
I've looked into it. I just think that the story that's presented for them, again, no issue with an idea of a mud flood, no issue with that. But like the idea that 200 years ago that Europe was different, the history records go back far further than that. Like it's not like Europe is a young place. So like I just and it's like the kind of, we go back to the, we go back to the, what was the thing in the art I'm trying to think of the fucking word, Renaissance, right? Long before when Tartaria and the mud flood story kind of is suggesting that there was a wiping out. Like we have history records, we have history books that go back that far. I can't believe it. I can't believe that there is some sort of wiping of history, and that those, I don't believe it. I personally can get on board the fact that there was more civilizations go back far long enough ago that were better than what we are, that are capable of different technologies and aliens. I'm on board all of that stuff. But this narrative that 200 years ago there was an event that happened in Europe that kind of wiped out all of history, and that back then we were doing things that we can't do now, just not on board it. Not at all.
It's, if you look at old maps, like old maps have a country or a huge part of northern Russia and Siberia that was known as Grand and Great Tartaria, and it's dated on maps going back as far as 1400s up until this 1850s. So there's a 500-year period where all documented maps have this particular region marked on as Grand Tartaria. It's a vast amount of land. It would cover probably half of what Russia is today. And Russia's like 1.4 billion people today. So it is a very significant amount of land. And it's on every single map from the late 1400s that's been found until the 1850s. But at some point,
that can be true. But again, it doesn't mean that there was an event in Europe that wiped out what happened before the 1500s.
It's quite easy to like, you think about how the Soviet Union's changed. You think about in our lifetime, in the 1980s, the way the Soviet Union has been dismantled and, it is what it is now. Sonny brought something up. Sonny Peaceman, I think it was, brought it up in the chat there about the melted buildings. There's a place in Georgia. I was actually researching last night. A place in Georgia. It's called like Uzbekistan or something like this. It's like a big city, and it's known as the Lord's Palace. And this was part of the old Soviet Union. But it's actually got people excavating it now, and they're looking into the melted residues of old buildings, like 3, 4, 5-story buildings that have all been melted down with tunnels underneath, hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of like underground tunnels underneath it. Sorry?
Where's that?
Georgia.
The country or the state in America?
No, in the country, which is just, I think it's the one between, is it just south of Russia? I think it's one most south of Russia's border now.
Melted buildings in Georgia, yeah?
Yeah. The guy, remember that I've recommended it a few times, but there's a channel called My Lunch Break, and he's getting more and more developed in his research. And I've been a subscriber for many years, but I've watched him grow from like 500 subscribers to like 500,000 people now. But he gets more and more in depth with his research, and it was on his channel. I watched it. I'll probably butcher the name, but it's like Uzbekistan or something like this. But it's known as the Lord's Palace. And it's a melted, obviously like a melted building.
Uplistiki or something.
Yeah, something.
The phrase melted buildings in Georgia typically refers to viral internet pseudo-history and alternative theory claims such as melt tricks or Tartarian reset narratives alleging that ancient or lost civilizations possessed high-frequency energy grids. Yeah, I've got no problem with that. That melted brick and stone into rock formations, sometimes targeting rock-hewn sites, like whatever that word is, in the country of Georgia. In a literal physical context, severe structural damage from catastrophic fires such as the 2014 blaze that melted the clock tower bell at the historic Hancock County Courthouse in Sparta, Georgia, has also occurred. Is there evidence to support melt tricks?
I was watching a video last night of people that are actually there on site right now, and they're finding all these weird things that they can't explain. But it supports what Sonny said a minute ago about how the melted building theory all over the world. Just this is one of the more recent examples that they're sort of going through right now. Saying your mic's low. They're saying your mic's low. Kate, saying your mic's low.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my mic. I hope it's just maybe it's I'm not talking into it. Is it better? I don't know. What's this Tommy G's doing? Bro, what are you up to, man? I've blocked you on so many fucking channels. I don't know why you're posting 20 times.
Fanboy.
Nah, because he talks shit about me. I don't really care, but like I'll put you in a timeout. I don't care. You can I see you in other comments talking shit about me. It's fine. I don't give a fuck about that. But just don't come in and spam, bro. Just be a fucking normal person. You can if you don't like me, you can talk shit about me. That's absolutely fine. This is interesting. This is on the right hand. Is it on the screen? Yeah, the stuff on the right hand side. It does look like it's melted, doesn't it? It does very much look like it's melted. I mean, if that's stone, that doesn't look like. Or maybe it's melted, or maybe it's washed away. Maybe that's just like. Maybe that's like. Like what do they call it? Deciduation? No. Deciduation, is that the word I'm thinking of? Where like lots of water floods, lots of water flow, like erodes concrete or stone.
Very symmetrical though. Those windows and those doors are very symmetrical. You wouldn't think water would do it like that, would you? You know? There's lots of. It's not just that one as well. It's not just that one example. Like there's quite a lot of examples in.
Lots. You can see them. China, USA, Peru.
China, USA's got a lot of them.
Bulgaria. It's interesting.
All over the world.
That looks like AI. That's clearly AI. But
it's the theory behind it is termed meltology.
Nautology.
Meltology.
Oh, meltology. Okay.
Yeah. So if you type in meltology into any
Google search, I mean, that's an apartment building in Bisley in Georgia. No disrespect, right, to those people, because I'm sure there's probably just as many happy people as unhappy people in that building as there are in any building in the UK or America. But like in terms of getting lucky to have been born in this generation and to be born in the UK without or wherever you guys are watching, I'd imagine most of you are watching from Western places. I'm sure most of you are, you know, globally in the top 1% of like wealth earners compared to everybody else in the world. Whether or not you're wealthy or not is another matter, but yeah, we're fucking lucky, man. So I'll tell you what, if we get to go around again, Nikos, I'm not sure we're going to be as lucky the next time around, you know?
Yeah, well, it depends what you've done in this life, mate, I guess, but that's why you got to try and be righteous, spread the Lord's word, be truthful.
Well, I do transfer news, views and clues every day, you know? That's about it, really. Talking about
this is the calling, mate. This is the calling. This stuff will last longer than, you know, a Spurs video will last. The Spurs video might last 2 days, but these videos might be reviewed in a year's time. Someone might pick these up when we're dead, you know, like, you don't know. But the point is like, when you get to that pearly gate and you're given the choice to plead your case, if you can say that you've tried to do right and done whatever, you might be able to negotiate an Elon Musk position back on a reincarnation trap. Or go the other way. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know either.
You know what? Next time around, if I come back through the genealogy or the genes of a reptilian, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind just sort of seeing what the other side's about. You know, just you gotta try things. How do you like Dr. Pepper? How do you know if you don't try? Let me just quickly finish off these super chats. Big up to you, Blaine. I'm sorry that Eugene wasn't here to answer me, but very, very generous of you, bro. Really appreciate you, Blaine. Love you, man. Can't wait to see you for the first home game. Is that Newcastle on the August 31st? I think. Looking forward to it. Big up to you, bro. And we covered a little bit of the mud flood stuff there. We'll do some. I think we've done it in the past as well, but we'll do some more of it. Big up to Kate and Jimbo throwing in another jamming. I don't know what these things are, but I don't know why why is it that fucking this channel has it and Sean Butler TV has it and Football Inc has it, but Spurs Talk Show doesn't. I swear Spurs Talk Show is shenanigans are afoot. Well, I know they are. Big up to you, Kate. I appreciate you very much. And Kale Darnage as well put another one saying laughing disco. No idea what's going on. And my man Scott Amos has put in another one saying goat trophy. I've got to fucking look into what these things are. You know,
I want to see the selection. I want to see the selection board, the menu. I want to see the menu.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Look it up. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much. Very, very generous of everybody. Really, really cool. You ready to move on to another spin the wheel?
Yes.
Really cool of you guys for helping us out there with some super chilly chit chats. And like I say, I'll see if I can buy like 20 hats or something then, and we can see if anyone else wants one as well. We can start the show. Start the...
Raffle some out, mate. Raffle some out.
Exactly.
We've still got the picture on the screen of the Melt Olives and stuff.
Oh, what? Hang on. Is it
You
on the
can't see
screen?
the wheel. Can't see
Sorry.
the wheel.
Sorry. Hang on, let me start it again.
Hey, y'all better get right with God, man.
How do I move it back?
Y'all get right with God, bro.
Yeah, back.
Can I move it back?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Bro, y'all get better.
There you go.
Hey, y'all better get right with God, man.
Hey, man.
Y'all get right with God, bro.
Get right with God, bro. Bro.
Oh my God, the cops are down there saying go back to your house, bro.
What the fuck is that then?
Is that?
Yes, come here. Look at this shit. The cops are down here saying we have to go back to our houses because they don't want us to film it.
Seriously though, what the fuck is that though?
Yo, something big is finna fucking happen.
Mate, that's like, it looks like it's, part of it looks like it's flames.
Yeah.
Part of it looks like it's lights and a lot of smoke. What do you reckon?
Looks like something out of Independence Day movie, doesn't it?
Bro.
Big spaceship or something that's flickering. I don't know. It's weird. Never seen that before.
You don't believe in aliens, though, do you? You think any of that shit is all like Project Bluebeam and stuff? Is that what you? Am I right? Is that what you think?
No, not necessarily. I just don't believe anything can penetrate the firmament. So I just believe that there's nothing flying in from outer space. So if there is stuff like aliens and maybe they've got technologies such as ships and stuff, they originate from here or beyond the ice wall. So it's not too far different from what people generally are perceived to think is what the
Do you
case
believe
is.
that aliens might be under the water?
Yeah,
The water,
maybe. Yeah,
the water.
maybe. I wouldn't discount it, to be honest. I don't rule anything out. I'm open to everything. But I just know pretty sure that they're not coming in from outer space. So if there's something here like that, then it's already been here probably before we were here. I don't think it's too controversial.
Do you think like SpaceX, if SpaceX is all about going into space, do you believe that like it's just one big giant £2 trillion fucking or £1 trillion
Yeah,
lie?
scam. Mate,
Yeah.
I love a scam. I love it, mate. I love it uncovering a scam. It's to me personally, I think all of that is a scam. I think it's a way of siphoning off large amounts of taxpayer money. I think it's a way of getting perpetual income off of the government for control black operations. I think it's just one of the biggest scams that's happened only since the 1960s. It's only like 50 years old. It's not like it's something that's gone on for hundreds and thousands of years. It's just something that's happened over the last 50 years when you're trying to control monetary supply and finances, and if you want to control other operations, you need a source of income. It's just a way of funneling money from one hand to the other, and they've got to put up a bit of a show. But if you're getting, NASA, I think I've covered before, get $180 million a day. You know, like you've got to put on a little video every now and again or something plausible for people to buy into. Like, it's not that difficult to do if you're getting $180 million a day. But there would have to be a lot of people in on it. I get that. But people can be paid off and people can be corrupted and people can be manipulated. So
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Like, what did that man say? That doesn't have to be a conspiracy when interests converge. If everyone's getting paid,
yeah.
You know, if everyone that's on the NASA, if everyone in NASA that knows the truth is getting paid, they say, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'll be entirely honest, mate. Like, if you were to say to me, like, do you think they ever landed on the moon? I would say I'm 90% sure they didn't, right? Yeah. However, if you were to ask me, do you think that there's aliens on the moon? I would say I'm 90% sure that there are. And so, like, if aliens can get there and aliens live here, like I get to this conclusion where I'm like caught between the rock and a hard place in conspiracies, because I feel like it's entirely possible that my mind wants to get on board the idea that maybe even the Nazis, you know, struck deals with the what were they called, the Vril, you know, the Vril. Have you heard about the Vril? So VRILL. The Vril is like some parasite there was like a club, a members club called the Vril Eye Club or some bollocks. Let me know in the chat if any of you know what I'm talking about here. And that they were people, and like, you know, the people that all do this, all the celebrities that do all this shit, and the black eye conspiracy, that it's basically a parasite that goes into humans' eyes through the left, I think it's left eye, and then they all end up essentially taken over by these parasites that are essentially aliens or demons or whatever else. And when you go and look into that, and then the people that believe in that story, and they put that story together, and they put together like the fucking slideshow, the evidence that supports it, you walk away going, maybe it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, and they suggest that like the guys that were, you know, Hitler and all that stuff, that they were into this kind of demonic, you know, occult stuff, and a lot of people that are into the occult get into that stuff. And I'm like, that's plausible. But then if you believe that, then you also believe the story that like a lot of the Nazis, like when Richard E. Byrd flew his plane down to the Antarctica and came out and said, you know, that there's land on the other side, right? When he was talking about that, he got into some like fighter issues, some aerial combat issues, that they were against. They were against like space saucers, whatever you want to call them, right? And they had the Nazi symbols on them, and that they could move from one pole to the other in a matter of seconds, which talks about this, which is basically leading into the UFO thing. And then that argument also takes them to being able to go and hibernate and live off and the moon bases on the moon. And you kind of go, well, if that's true, then obviously you can get to the moon. But do I believe that fucking the NASA took anyone to the moon? No, I fucking don't. And so I'm constantly in a flux of like, I believe everything and nothing at the same time, and everything's possible and nothing is possible, and I've got no idea which version I actually believe.
The what you said there about the planes with the swastika sign on them, in ancient texts, the swastika sign was a symbol for the black sun. So inside the hollow earth, which is the theory that has been passed around, is a symbol for the black sun. So the swastika now means something different in our modern times because of how it was perceived, obviously, through Nazism in World War II. But if you go back and look at ancient texts and go back through history, that symbol is around a lot in every single civilization that is known. So
I think the Nazi symbol wasn't the same as the black sun. It was inverted. I think it's slightly different, ever so slightly different.
I think again, don't quote me, but I think if you go back and find examples of it in ancient civilization that has been documented on texts, scrolls, you know, caves, all this type of stuff, that symbol has existed for millennia, long before it was adopted by Nazis. So when Admiral Byrd would have done his exploration, he maybe did come across someone that represented something from the black sun or worship the black sun. It wouldn't be too hard to comprehend that maybe that's what the real meaning of it is. But yeah, in our modern times, unfortunately, that means something a lot different than probably what it did in previous.
Sure. Yeah. Certainly, the Nazi symbol is also a Hindu symbol, which doesn't mean anything like the way that the Nazis represented it as. But the black sun, there's two different stories on the black sun. One person's version of the black sun is that it's on the flat earth symbol, you've got the waters above, the waters below, and you've got our sun inside it, and you've got the black sun at the bottom, right? That's one version of the black sun. In another version of the black sun, it's inner earth, it's Agartha, right? That inside the earth, you've got these like, you know, giant chasms, because we've only ever traveled 13 kilometers, I think it is deep. It's the deepest hole we've ever built. But the story goes that there's entrances in certain caverns in the Arctic, in the North Pole, where you can sort of fly down. Again, Richard E. Byrd stuff regarding that, where you go inside the inner earth, and then you've got the black sun in there. But then the black sun is also represented, according to David Icke and according to the things that he talks about, as Saturn. That Saturn used to be a sun that was a lot closer to Earth before there was some cataclysm, and that cataclysm is represented by the asteroid belt that separates, is it beyond Mars and before Jupiter, I think it is, right? And that all of those asteroids that float around, that used to be a different planet. That maybe that was the 10th planet, maybe that was Nibiru or whatever before it got blown up by some sort of cataclysm. So there's like 3 or 4. Everyone seems to recognize the black sun as a thing, but what the black sun actually is depends on your particular persuasion of of whatever conspiracy you're into, you know.
It's a big rabbit hole, mate. But yeah, Hollow Earth Theory believes there's an opening, and inside that opening there is a third sun, which is a black sun, which causes the eclipses and the moon phases. So when that black sun is worshipped, potentially what we know now as Saturn and Saturnism is what has been changed from what was previously known as that black sun worship into the new version of black sun worship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be.
So
Who knows? It's a
who
deep
knows,
subject.
mate?
That's one of the biggest rabbit holes. Is that one of the biggest rabbit holes? Is all of that?
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Let's just finish this video so that we can move on to the next one.
Crazy. That video's crazy.
It is crazy, isn't it? It looks like it's legit as well.
Imagine seeing that out of your sky. Imagine seeing that outside your house.
That fucking picture. If I saw that, I'd be like, Bugsy, we got to go. Content's got to content. You know?
It looks like my instincts tell me that's some sort of type of like ship or vessel or aircraft or something. Is what my brain tells me, but
it looks like a giant cloud that's like that's hugging around something, doesn't it? Because there's sort of you can. Anyway, hornet's nest shape apparently in Austin in 2025. Let's move on.
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family should have to endure this kind of pain.
Baba, no! Hey, put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
What are you fucking doing closing the door?
Put the knife down!
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I've got no idea what that's about. Let's move on.
What's your views on this Mandani guy who's the mayor of New York right now? What's your thoughts on this guy? He's saying some controversial shit and getting a little bit of heat, you know, like not quite sure where I stand.
He's also getting a lot of people that are fucking that like him. A lot of people that like him. Like for me, he's obviously a very articulate left winger, but some of his policies for me, like as someone who's a capitalist, someone who thinks that you should be able to work hard, strive to do better in your life, earn something, build something. You're not here to like, you know, I'm not here to like put all of my fucking 12, 18 hours a day into something for someone else who's a lazy little prick to benefit. Like to some degree, I'm willing to help the people that aren't as fortunate, but I'm not here to like have all of my hard work ripped away from me and then just given to people that can't be bothered, right? Because that's just a shitty, like it's just not, all you get then is a world where, you know, no one's going to work hard and then we're all just fucking idiots, right? We're all lazy bums. You need purpose in life. And I think some of his policies look to do that, and they also look to punish disproportionately. They seem to want to go after white families in New York more than they do people that are black origin, or any other origin, but who have also done well for themselves. They go after certain townships and certain zip codes or whatever where it's predominantly white and raising those taxes, but not in tax. You know what I mean? Like, so there's lots of things, but I'm not fully versed on it. But I also know that he seems to be saying things that are very popular. He seems to be saying things that are very, very popular. This is what I was saying. It's not just the people that are left wing. Like certain people on the right are also kind of going. Like he's saying some things, but I'm not that schooled up on it, to be honest.
This is what I think about him. I don't know. Again, same as you. I don't know too much about the guy. From what I can gather, he obviously seems to have a problem with like Netanyahu. Is he jumping on that bandwagon because he genuinely believes what this guy's potentially doing is wrong, or is he jumping on the populist bandwagon to get votes? So I'm not quite sure like what to make of this guy.
Probably, but he's also Muslim, right? So
yeah,
you know that
he said he would arrest Netanyahu from now in New York.
Yeah, and he would never do that. First of all,
I don't think he has the power to do that, does he? I don't think he has the power to do that.
No, he doesn't. But like I think, you know, he's appealing to a certain demographic, but he's also winning over the hearts and minds of people that are not that obvious demographic. But you know, there's a lot of silver-tongued people out there, right? But like I say, you know,
it seemed to have popped out of nowhere. It seemed to have like risen out of nowhere. I'm trying to feel the guy out, trying to figure out what I think of him, but just yeah. Every time I see him, I'm not quite sure how to feel about this guy.
I don't know, but my instinct says I don't really give a shit what he thinks about Israel. I don't really give a fuck about, you know, any of those things. I want people that I'm interested in doing. I want people to focus on their own country and their own constituents and do what's right for them. And if he thinks the right way to manage New York, forget about his take on Netanyahu. If he thinks the right way to manage New York is to basically punish anyone that's got any money, good fucking luck, right? That's a one-way ticket towards that city becoming a disaster. And I hope that he figures it out, because people with wealth have the ability to be mobile, and New York is it's a massively important fundamental piece of capitalism. Now, capitalism has got many fucking problems, but if you think the solution is socialism, who funds the socialism if everybody's poor, which is what they want? There has to be a balance. Anyway, let's. I don't know enough about him, so let's move on to see if we can get something. Next reel.
I've been on air 22 years. I don't get into aliens, metaphysical, religion, any of that. I've studied the elite, and I've also communicated with a lot of the top people. And if you want to know, I will actually break down right now the best knowledge right now what's happening on the planet.
What's happening?
The elite are all about transcendence and living forever and the secrets of the universe, and they want to know all this. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mix. And we're on this planet, and Einstein's physics showed it, Max Planck's physics showed it, there's at least 12 dimensions. And now that's why all the top scientists and billionaires are coming out saying it's a false hologram. It is artificial. The computers are scanning it and finding tension points where it's artificially projected and gravity's bleeding in to this universe. That's what they call dark matter. So we're like a thought or a dream that's a wisp in some computer program, some God's mind, whatever. They're proving it all. It's all coming out. Now, there's like this sub-transmission zone below the third dimension that's just turned over to the most horrible things is what it resonates to. And it's trying to get up into the third dimension. That's just a basic level consciousness to launch into the next levels. And our species is already way up in the fifth, sixth dimension, consciously, our best people. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our best minds and build some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man. And so Google was set up 18, 19 years ago. I knew about this before it was declassified. I'm just saying I have good sources, that they wanted to build a giant artificial system. And Google believes that the first artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity, with billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, so that they will have current.
Just quickly, when did Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan and Alex Jones get together? I remember Alex Jones doing one of these major rants when he had like Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo on. I don't remember Tucker Carlson being in on Joe Rogan with. Is that just like they just put that together in some way to make it look like it's?
They've cut that together. There's like Joe Rogan and Alex Jones did a show, and then Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson did a show, and then they've spiced it and sliced it together, so that it looks like they're all together. But they were actually talking about the same subject, but it was two different shows they did.
Oh no, I know what it was. It was Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson that were looking at a video of Alex Jones on a previous video. I think that's what it is. But yeah.
Current prediction powers, future prediction powers, a true crystal ball. But the big secret is, once you have a crystal ball and know the future, you can add stimuli beforehand and make decisions that control the future. And so then it's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know, and a true hive mind consciousness with an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams, delivering it to us because we were already wired in and absorbed before we knew it by giving over our consciousness to the system by our daily decisions that it was able to manipulate and control into a larger system. There's now a human counterstrike taking place to shut this off before it gets fully into place, and to block these systems and cut off the pedophiles and psychic vampires that are control of this AI system before humanity's destroyed.
So, 7 years ago, no one was thinking AI was going to take over civilization.
So you can see why the FBI decided to destroy him, which it did.
Mate. Oh, he's gone. He's gone for a wee or something. Alex Jones was so good. He was so good. You know, he's a performance artist. Yeah, maybe, probably. But I also think he was just like, he was so good. That episode was the best ever. And what's interesting is why it is that Joe Rogan knows, right? If he was to have Alex Jones back on his show tonight, it would be the best and biggest show that Joe Rogan has done in years, because Joe Rogan's on the decline. No one really watches Joe Rogan anymore. His numbers are like falling off a cliff. Not obviously not that severely, but he's yesterday's news a little bit. But he doesn't have Alex Jones on. You know, and
He doesn't have any debate on it.
Is that because Alex Jones has gone against Israel, and because Joe Rogan has sort of taken the pill? Because there's a lot of people that are out there accusing Joe Rogan of like basically being a billionaire shill now, where he has like people like JD Vance on, and then he'll ask kind of softball questions around the Epstein files and all that stuff, and then just accept the answers. And he has Peter Thiel on, and he has Elon Musk on, and he has Zuckerberg on. But like, and if he doesn't have those guys on, he'll have a few comedians on here and there.
Yeah.
But I'd like if Joe Rogan was to go and get Alex Jones on, it would break the internet right now, given everything that's happened since the last time he was on. But yet he doesn't do it. Why doesn't he do it? Is that Spotify controlling him?
I think because obviously he got that big contract during COVID, so when everyone was locked up in their homes, Joe Rogan was the one popular person that everyone went to on Spotify for podcasts. So he got that huge ginormous contract, but that contract is in this last year, I think. So I think, over the last year or two, I think you've seen people lose a little bit of interest in watching his 3-hour-long shows with people of, maybe distaste for some people. But ever since he had Donald Trump on, his numbers have gone down. So ever since, even though that podcast was his most successful podcast with Donald Trump, remember he did it before the election, I think, just like a month before the elections.
Yeah.
But ever since he's done that, his numbers have gone down. But Joe Rogan has always declined.
I think he probably regrets a little bit the fact that he endorsed Donald Trump, because as soon as Donald Trump got in, Donald Trump has become a complete.
Maybe it's a political thing, but one thing that you always see, if you ever go on a Joe Rogan podcast comment section, every single video you will see someone say Eric Dubay, Eric Dubay, Eric Dubay. You'll see numerous people, but he will never ever do it, and I don't understand why.
I think it's because Eric Dubay is probably like, I watch a hell of a lot of flat Earth shows, mate. It's brilliant nighttime. When I go to bed, flat Earth debates are like, there's a channel called like something Dan the Science Guy, who spends his time like tackling flat Earth, and there's a few others. I love listening to it because they're like no one will. I don't understand the science, right? But like, you've got some people that really think that the Earth is flat, that talk about relativity and stuff, and the other people that claim that they're scientists that don't, but that don't agree. But I think that if there's definitely holes to the flat Earth argument that I don't think that they can answer, but there's definitely holes to the curvature argument as well. But I think that Joe Rogan wouldn't have him on because he would need somebody else on to be able to debate him. I don't think if Joe Rogan took on and tried to represent the globe Earth model, I think that Eric Dubay would probably have all of the answers to all of the questions that Joe Rogan would be able to ask.
I think that's maybe changed people's opinions on him. He obviously was an outspoken atheist, but now he's a Christian. He's a verse Christian. He's a self-confessed Christian, and I think, again, like, I don't know how it would necessarily change people's perspective of him, but the fact that he's now leaning more that way as opposed to the way he was before.
Rogan?
Yeah, Rogan. Yeah, he's a self-confessed Christian.
I think a lot of people are moving towards Christian. I'm certainly moving back in that direction, just not because I've found Christ, but because I've seen the devil everywhere. Listen, did you find your name of your show? Did you get your channel name for me, mate? So I can.
How do I do it?
I'll do it. It's fine. I was just hoping that you could.
You just do it.
Tinfoil transmission.
I think there was a button that said, like, before the show, it said it's automatically linked to live on my show as well. I'm not sure if it's live on mine or whatever, but
did you click it? Oh, you have clicked it. Oh, so it's on your show.
Yeah, I think it did it automatically. It just said maybe it's because the last time we did it did it automatically.
Oh, there you go. Nice, yes. So we're streaming to both. We're streaming to both right now. But for everyone here, there's 140 people watching. Love that. Don't know the makeup of which show on which channel, but
yours 139 yours, sure.
Is it?
I do intend to do more. I've got an idea for my channel. I want to get a new laptop, and I want to do a daily video every single day where I actually review the TikTok stuff and the Twitter stuff every single day. I love this channel, but it's, they're few and far between. I want to do something every single day. I've seen people grow from 500 views to 500 subscribers to like hundreds of thousands of subscribers within 12 months. I want to do that, but I'm kind of like living in Spain and summer and
do it, mate. Content's got a content, bro. Just do it.
yeah, I know, mate. I know. I do want to do it, and it's something I have a passion for more than anything monetary. But I just finding the time and everything else, But in the near future, there will be a daily show that I'll try and put out, maybe numerous shows a day, where I'm actually reviewing all these conspiracy stuffs that actually are online. And if that's something of interest to people, thank you for supporting the channels and stuff. But if you can subscribe and like, I would appreciate it. But there is more to come. It's on the agenda, I promise you.
Yeah, so here's Rabbit Hole Ramblings, my message there. There's Tim Ford Transmission, which is Nikos's channel. He is streaming right now as well. But make sure you click on that link, go to his channel, smash the subscribe, so that, because it might be a couple of days or a couple of weeks until we go live here again. You never know. Hopefully not. I'm going to fix whatever it is going on with the old videos, because there's loads of. I mean, they might still be in there. I don't know, but either way, we'll find out in a second. And make sure you do get over there. Really important, guys. 140 people here. Make sure you smash that link there if you've got access to the chat. It's called Tinfoil Transmission. Please make sure you subscribe to Nikos's show. Just do a couple of these.
I've actually had ads popping up on your. I've got your screen on the TV so I can see the bigger picture of the videos. And I've actually been getting ads coming up.
Yeah, I think so. The ads might show for the stream, but as soon as the stream's done, there'll be you won't see ads. It'll just be cut off. But yeah, and you don't get paid until they'll show ads making money off you, but if they decide that it's demonetized, you won't get any of the ads. So it's whatever. It is what it is. Listen, everyone's been super fucking generous with these dual things. I don't know what they are. Spurs King, big up. He says football. Well, he's not saying it. It's a part of the thing. So that's another one. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much, Spurs King. I appreciate you, bro. Blaine Dev has become a new member of the show as well. Big up to Blaine-O. Big up to Blaine-O. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much, mate. I love you, man. Choo to you, bro. He's also put in another one as well, saying flying beans. What the fuck?
I want to see the menu. I want to see what these people are seeing. I want to see the options you've got. That's crazy.
Does it throw up another random word? Like if you put in 807 joules, can you pick however many joules you want to put in, and does it give you a random different word? I don't know I've got no idea what these things are. But big up to you, Blaine, mate. You're super generous tonight, my man. Super generous. I hope your lounge, your outdoor space is treating you kindly, and I hope your barbecue is being utilised as it should, mate. What a life you lead, mate, with all that success you've got. Big up to you, Blaino. Appreciate you, my man. He's buying a place in Spain or Portugal, I think. Now that he's paid off his house where he lives, he's got money to burn on something new. A user says, look like military countermeasure flares. Oh, that's that was that UFO big thing, yeah. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much, A user. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Should we do a few more, mate?
Yeah, mate. All the time in the world.
Right. Let's have a look, see what we're doing.
While this war was making headlines, something else got filed with the SEC. The current resident's son invested in a drone company last year. Recently, the administration banned Chinese drones, their competition, overnight. This week, the Pentagon needs American suppliers urgently. Then the sons filed paperwork to take their drone company public. One of their drone investments markets its product as, and I'm quoting directly, low cost per kill. The cost they're keeping low is not theirs. 4 companies in the family's investment portfolio collected $735 million in Pentagon contracts since his dad took office. Dad starts the war, dad bans the competition, sons sell the drones. You write the check. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's an SEC filing.
That's fucking brilliant. What's her name? I like the way she speaks. I like the colour of her jib. What is her name? It's not a conspiracy. It's an SEC filing. That's fucking that's good. I like that one.
The monopolization of drones is quite obvious.
Yeah.
If you were going to, it's a new technology.
The Trump family have made themselves wealthier in 3 years, 2.5 years than any prior. I mean, like they were all up to it, right? The Clintons with the foundation. You know, I don't know if Biden did it as much. Maybe he did a little bit because his son was getting paid off through that sort of the Ukrainian company, and then the Chinese and all that stuff getting paid millions. But like 10 million to the Bidens, probably not a huge amount in the grand scheme of things. But the Trumps have made fucking billions, bro. Like, it is out fucking outrageous how much corruption is going on. And they don't give a toss.
The obvious one for me is like when, just before Trump went into office, he launched Trump Coin, and also his partner, Melania, she launched Melania Coin. They had obviously a large, or their fund managers or whoever manages the coins off the back of them. They actually sold like 90% of their holdings each. And I remember one of my good friends, he said to me, should I buy a Trump coin at like $77? I was like, no, mate, don't please touch that. And like today it's worth $1.
They pulled the rug on their own coin, did they?
They rugged their own coins, yeah.
Fucking
Mate, it's
hell.
scandalous, mate. And the amount of money they must have made out of that. Because at the time he was obviously like running for president, about to get presidency, people were buying it, all the FOMO was there. But $77 to $1 on the Trump coin, he's the current president still. He's just, you know, economically scandalous.
He's a disgrace. The whole family's a fucking disgrace.
Mate, I feel bad because I actually believed in him. Actually, I got fooled by that. I actually believed in Trump.
Same.
Yeah.
But you're given two options, right? You're given like I would never vote for him normally, but I was like, well, him versus the Democrats, I'll choose him. But then he's just as bad. In fact, he's probably worse. Because I don't think we'd be at war with Iran if the Democrats were in. You know.
Crazy.
No, let's spin the room. In fact, he's far worse. He's far worse.
An old man versus a young girl. She'd accused him of something specific, which was obvious that he'd done it. We decided between us that the consequences for him would be so severe that he now knows how serious this crime is. And so if he does it again, he'll be back here and bang, that's fine, throw the book at him. But on this occasion, give him that chance.
And somebody else would have been his victim. I mean, that
absolutely. I was the foreman on that one. I had to deliver the verdict. And I saw his victim. I saw her, go to pieces in the court.
Didn't you feel ashamed of yourself?
No, I didn't. And this is the whole. Well, like I said, you're not going to agree, but you weren't there, and nor was anybody else. And the problem is that this is where juries are not the be all and end all.
You were there to deliver justice for the victim. You weren't there to make judgments over what would happen to the man who was guilty.
I was doing that case. I was a juror in that case. And if I had to do that same case again, I would do exactly the same
on
thing.
You.
Well, that's fine. But this is why juries are flawed. And I'm sure you'll find that other people have done exactly the same thing.
I'll tell you what, my text screen has gone mad with people saying, well, this guy is an example of why ordinary members of the public shouldn't be allowed to be on juries.
That's my point.
I'm a terrible juror. That's why we shouldn't have jurors. What the hell is going on here? He let them off. Well, he let the guy off for essaying a girl because he thought that person would get in a lot of trouble in prison.
Scandalous corruption. He's admitting it on the radio.
He's sitting there saying, I'm terrible. Yeah, you're right. It should never have happened. I could have changed it, but I didn't. And the reason why I didn't is because it was bad news for the guy who was going to go to prison. And that's the reason why we should get away with jurors. If you get away with jurors, then you have judges that are just as corruptible as scientists. If the Fauci scenario is not loud and proud enough for everyone to realize why you can't trust anybody despite their status and their stature in society, because they're all corruptible, they are all purchasable, they are all guilty of potentially falling victim to powerful people's demands, then it's exactly the same thing that Keir Starmer was trying to implement with regards getting rid of juries. Then you just hand over the power for people that are guilty of potential criminal cases that are not guilty, that say I'm not guilty, and the case is heard, and then you get bozo judges that are at the women the fucking call of powerful elites who just send them down anyway. We saw it with the social media people, the people that got sent to jail for naughty posts about Islam and all that stuff. It's a fucking disgrace, Nikos.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. I think it's fixed because the people that are actually in the jury are like not cultured in that particular profession, so they're susceptible to manipulation to a degree. So this is why you pay a lot of money for a good lawyer, because if you can manipulate an uneducated juror, like you can actually manipulate the outcome of a case. But mate, it's all fixed, mate. You know, the court systems are all fixed, police systems are all fixed. Absolutely.
Let's move on. But
I'm surprised he made it on the radio though, or on the TV.
Yeah, but he's saying like we were terrible jurors, therefore let the judge decide.
Yeah. Can they do that? I don't think you can do that. I think you've got to have an outcome of the juror. No?
That's what they're trying to pass that law in the UK. I think they might have already passed it, or it's in the House of Lords right now for a second vote or something. That essentially, what's going on in the chat? We've got our own show down in the chat. Well, you guys you're doing riddles, are you? If I'm my father's father, if my father's father was your father's son, who am I? If my father's father, my grandfather, was your brother, you're my uncle? Great uncle? I don't even know. Don't even know. It's too late. I'm too drunk. Let's move on.
Too late. My head hurts.
Pay attention, chat, by the way. Pay attention. We're talking shit here.
You just hit a button and you can get some light from space. And it's not very expensive. It's a couple $1,000s an hour and that's about it. And you can use it for as long as you want. And how you can get this sunlight. You want to make it as easy as possible for people. So you can imagine using an app and bringing sunlight over to your exact location, wherever you are, in under 30 seconds at the touch of a button. All we have to do is rotate satellites and reflect the sunlight that's passing by us in space.
I think we said that before. I'm sure we've said that before. It's really expensive. It's like $2,000 an hour or something. So, do you remember talking? Is this new to you or not?
I know that he's talking about, mate. To be honest.
All right, a couple more. Let's do it, and then we'll round it off. We're going a long time now.
So, folks, I want to talk about this. So, after the Second World War, there were 2 million German young boys, old men, POWs, and the Allies took them and stuck them out in the fields, and with barbed wire and fences. And the first thing they said was, we're not going to call them POWs, we're going to call them disarmed enemy forces. And the reason why they did that was because POWs have protection under the Geneva Convention. They are allowed food and shelter, medical access, protected from exposure. They should have, the Red Cross should be able to check on them, and they've got legal protections. So they stopped calling them POWs and called them disarmed enemy forces. And they just stuck them out in the fields with no toilets, no sanitary conditions, no water, no food, no blankets, and 2 million white Christian men died in Western Europe at the hands of America, Britain, and France. This isn't a number that's just been plucked out of the air, some imaginary number to talk about some genocide. This is a real genocide that no one today talks about. There are no museums or memorials or remembrance days for the 2 million soldiers, innocent, unarmed, who were killed by our governments.
No, that's wild. Have you looked into that? So essentially,
that's a new one. I mean, that's kind of whiteboard. That I didn't know about that.
That is mental, right? So they basically rebranded prisoners of war to something else so that they didn't have to follow Geneva Conventions around feeding them, clothing them, and giving them shelter and water. And they just left them to starve, and 2 million men starved, and no one talks about it because history is written by the winners. If that's true,
what country are they from?
Like Germany, probably Austria. They're all part of the Axis, right?
Yeah, they're blonde Aryan race. So the Americans, French, and where they said that British. Yeah, so it must be German, huh?
No, I need to look into that because I saw this a while ago. I put it into the bucket there. If that is fucking true, and we just let these people starve to death because they happen to be born in a country. mate.
Very sad. Our armies of our countries have done.
Sad, not just sad. It just shows you that like there's no such thing as the good guys and the bad guys, right? We're all bad guys in war.
Yeah, that's sad. Next one. Spin the wheel again.
Right, last one, and then we'll round off because we've been going for 2 hours, I think.
Now, this is a quote in 2006 from Peter Sutherland. We must use migration to turn the English people into the minority in England. This will allow us to undermine the identity of the native English and import new majority that will end the very idea of England. This is critical for globalism to take hold of England. This is why I say it's planned. I've always said it's planned. It's fucking, this is just, yeah. And this obviously was posted on 2022. You can see in the top left-hand corner. Like, I want your opinions. Like, I don't just want to be voicing my opinion all the time. I want people to obviously engage in debate because, as everybody knows, I don't incite riots, race and hatred. I'm not like vile. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm trying to give the information out to try and educate people. But some people obviously are that retarded and left wing, and they just walk around going, ugh. So, but anyway, give me your thoughts, give me your opinion. Let's have a talk.
We must use the migration to turn the English people into a minority in England. This will allow us to undermine the identity of the native English and import a new majority that will end the very idea of England. This is critical for globalization. Who the fuck is Peter Sutherland? Who is he? Peter Sutherland was an Irish businessman, barrister, and here we go. And Fine Gael politician who served as United Nations, there you go, special representative for international migration from 2006 to 2017. So as soon as he got into the gig, he said, yeah, World Trade Organization General Director, 1993, basically a globalist, probably I'd love to see if he's,
That's happening everywhere. In America, they've got all the South Americans coming in. You know, the Biden administration letting record numbers. They're still coming in now. You know, it's happening all over Europe with what we spoke about earlier on with the Moroccans coming into Spain and going north in Europe. In the UK, you're getting them coming on boats every single day. Like, there is a dilution of the natural population of these countries.
There you go. Was a key leader at the World Economic Forum as well. So having a look, yeah. This is the World Economic Forum. I swear to God, the World Economic Forum is the proper evil. And the World Economic Forum, if anyone who doesn't know, look at the logo. 666, right? Of all the things they could do, they put the little what's the circle supposed to represent? No need for it, but they put it through the 3 O's because it creates 3 6s. Satanism, globalism is Satanism. It is a disgrace. You know.
Yeah, agreed. Anyone associated with World Economic Forum should be like scrutinized to the highest degree, and they're likely an enemy as opposed to somebody in politics that's trying to do good by it.
They want more. They want more, mate. They want more. You got any more in you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
All right, then. We'll do a couple more. Couple more, right, people?
Can't end on that. Got to end on a positive one, a funny one, or something. Can't end on a downer, Debbie Downer. Friday night.
Treasury will collect £331 billion in income tax in the current financial year. But according to Table 4.6, we will spend £333 billion on welfare, a sum which is almost as big as the combined GDP of Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. In other words, we are now spending more to facilitate people not working through a raise in income tax from people working. This comes at a cost which falls on us through taxation, but also on the next generation through an increased national debt. In the year 2000, the national debt per person was, in today's money, £11,500. Today, the share of the national debt for every child born is over £41,000. This is their inheritance, and the trajectory is not improving.
Yeah.
Who's the national debt owed to?
Well, it's owed to fucking the bankers, isn't it? It's owed to
private.
well, actually, it's not owed to the bankers necessarily. Like, unfortunately, like these days, the origin of debt-based money printing started long before there was anything that's in place today. So today, like, you can't just wipe off the debt because it's not necessarily the bankers that are buying it. It can be like pension funds that buy it, that get, you know, that they'll put 500 million in, they'll buy a gilt trust, and obviously the government will give 4% or whatever. So, like, if you were to just like wipe off the debt, then you also wipe out pension funds and you erase trust. So it's now far too complicated. That's the problem. Like you give them long enough, and they'll interweave so much complexity and coordination into everything that you can't just like go, well, that's a problem, let's just stop it. You can't do it anymore. But yeah, debt-based money printing is an absolute nightmare. We'll move on. That's a boring one. Let's move on to something else.
One more. One more.
Okay. You should cut that list out. Your reputation is you like to text underage girls, sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Bill Clinton officiated your wedding with Puma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So you've been very close, and she was a right-hand person to Hillary Clinton in 2016 while the scandal was taking place.
For years before that, she was with Hillary for 20 years.
Email, 650,000, one folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So 9 out of 12 cops, NYPD, who saw the email and saw what was in that laptop, committed suicide. And the most ever that this took place, and these are the men that committed suicides. First thing I ask myself is, how the hell is Anthony Weiner still alive? Well, when you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, died of an apparent heart attack. Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop. Victor Razor, you got Ed Woolley. It's 46 names.
He's just reading the article. He's reading a list of names.
So
he hasn't even asked the question. It's a list.
The fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not nervous. This stuff makes me sick when you repeat
Exactly. It makes us
one as well. How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was.
Pull up Vince Foster if you want.
Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times.
Can you let me ask the question?
No, listen, this is a conversation.
No.
We're having a conversation.
I'm sorry, I'm the host. You invite me to your podcast, you get to ask the question. I'm the host. I want to ask you the question. Your reaction is already an answer.
I know. I am infuriated by people
I
who drag
understand
other
why
people's
you would
names
be.
who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is
these
powerless.
People.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
You read a list of people because you have the power to do it. People who do that are bullies, and I don't appreciate bullies.
I have the power to do what?
You do. To read a list of some stranger's names.
The DOJ and other things to control.
That's not DOJ.
Yeah.
DOJ didn't make this list.
Let me finish up my question.
Some jackass made a list in his basement.
You have the right to
You're reading their
answer.
names as if they're incriminating in some way. Some conspiracy theory podcast, a conspiracy theory that 9 people read. You find some guy that comes in, and then you go from Ron Brown to some obscure officer that used to protect Bill Clinton, who passed away.
How is it that the reputation that follows them as people close to them die?
You
Pretty
should
dark
cut that
to take
list
the
out.
angle you did. You're exactly.
Listen to me. You're talking now.
Oh, okay.
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
people. We can still have the argument. You and I are big boys. Cut that list out.
I'm not going to be cutting that list.
Wait, I love that. Love that. Oh, Frazzle Drip himself, Mr. Insurance Policy.
Sounds like Sean and Stell arguing.
Yeah, his last job after he obviously was a big part of the Hillary Clinton campaign. His last known job that he had was working in a bathroom fitting company in New York, selling bathrooms.
Who?
So
Anthony
I think,
Weiner?
yeah, his actions there on that podcast probably should tell you exactly what he is. If you're a body language sort of guy, you know, reaction there tells you.
If you watch the entire debate that he had, you can understand why he would have been employed in politics, mate. He was never a politician, but he was like an advisor, a script writer, a speech writer, and a consultant. Mate, the geezer is unbelievable at spin. Like, so clever, so like, take away the content there in that particular argument. I'd encourage everybody to go and watch that. His name, the interviewer's name is Pat David. No, Patrick Bet David, I think his name is. And go and look up Anthony Weiner, Patrick Bet-David, right? That interview was phenomenal, but not for the, yes, that little bit there was like unbelievable fun, but go and watch Anthony Weiner's ability to skirt and to dance and to like understand. He is so unbelievably clever at how to communicate. He could turn anything. He could be like, you would want him as your lawyer if you were in court for a crime that you had committed, because he would find a way to get you off it. He was unbelievably talented at the art. Same as who was Tony Blair's spin doctor? Let me have a look.
Harold Chipman.
No, Alistair Campbell. Alistair Campbell, right? Who's still knocking around now. He's a little bit older now, a lot older now. But Alistair Campbell was like an unbelievable script writer, an unbelievable spin doctor. The way that they could, like, didn't matter what was being thrown at whatever was going on. With Alistair Campbell and Tony Blair, it was obviously the war in Iraq. To this day, that guy, just like the way that his synapses fire, and just he can just figure out a way to find an angle to answer your question without answering it, but actually put it back on you for being an aggressor in the conversation. And you walk away going, like, I consider myself pretty good at that sort of thing, but like there's levels to the game, and like these people are just like fucking unbelievable at getting out of tricky situations when they're in the corner. It's sensational, you know. So I'd go and have a look at that stuff if anyone's interested. Go and watch that particular interview.
Definitely will. But they're highly trained, like, to be able to navigate out of those kind of conversations. But yeah, that guy there, you can see he's squirming. So
in that moment, he was absolutely squirming. 100%, he was squirming. Right, but if you actually go and watch the surrounding part of it, he actually he made you come away, because this guy was like essentially a PDF file, well, not PDF file, but he was sending dick pics to underage girls who went to prison. Right, but on his laptop was all those things regarding, I don't want to say the word out loud, but like frazzle thing, and so like all sorts of horrendous stuff, and potentially, I don't know whether it's true or not, but all sorts of horrendous stuff. But this guy, the way that he could find his way to kind of navigate all those accusations in a real live stream scenario where there's no edits, impressive, impressive. You have to sometimes tip your cap to people, even though they're horrible people, like Adolf Hitler, horrible person, horrible person, obviously. But had the ability to conduct himself in a way where he could, convince millions of people to listen to and to believe his bullshit. Anyway.
Big shout out to Daniel Field. You just turned up. Late to the party, mate. Late to the party.
Oh, mate, we're leaving, mate. We're about to go. Listen, we've been going for 2 hours and 2 hours and 17 minutes. Interesting. Great evening. I really enjoyed it, Nikos. Great show. Let us know in the chat if there's any topics that you'd like us to cover off in the next one. We'll be back soon. Please do get over. Let me publish the link again. Make sure you go and subscribe to Nikos. He's going to be doing this conspiracy stuff a lot more frequently than I can find the time for on his channel. So if you love that stuff, then he'll be doing that stuff as often as he can. We'll be back very soon, hopefully within the next week or whatever. There's going to be, obviously, I know that in the season coming up, there's like a 3-week period when there's no Premier League games. So there'll be plenty of time for us to be able to do that stuff throughout then. I want to say a massive thank you, though. Mikhail Tadzi, the bomber. Is there a bomber? Is there a bomber?
The bomber?
No, there's no bomber. Well, hopefully it's Mikhail Tadzi. I'd love him. Actually, you know what winds me up? You know what really winds me up is a conspiracy. Like, I've seen about 4 or 5 different Tottenham content creators tonight on Twitter and on YouTube talking about, like, oh, Mikhail Tadzi, here's how Mikhail Tadzi is brilliant for Tottenham. And they're all referencing the fact that, oh, go and watch this guy's video from yesterday who talks about Mikhail Tadzi. Go and watch this other person that spoke about Mikhail Tadzi the day before. I literally have made, if you go and search my fucking channel, go and search Spurs Talk Show for Mikhail Tadzi, and you'll find like 7 videos of me talking about Mikhail Tadzi in the last 18 months. And I did a video about him about 2 weeks ago. It wasn't titled Mikhail Tadzi, but it was a live stream with Kate was on there, and I think Drew was on there. No one gives Butler credit for the early take on Mikhail Tadzi, but they're fucking happy to give it out to people that literally looked him up 5 minutes ago and then go and make like a fucking data stream about him. It winds me up, you know?
He's quality, mate. He's quality. Like, I watched a lot of Spanish football, obviously, being here in Spain. Like last year, Villarreal finished like 4th, but he was like one of the top goal scorers in the league. He reminded me like that kind of signing for Spurs would remind me a little bit of like Soldado, though. It's like hot at the moment, obviously from Villarreal as well. Like it could be one of those ones that works or crashes and burns, you know?
Yeah, there's risk. There's definitely risk with him. There's definitely risk with him because he's a little guy. He's 5'9".
Yeah.
I look at him and think of him like you might have to sort of change your style, be more fluid and dynamic in the front three. But like he's got so much power in his short back lift. A little bit of Jermaine Defoe in him. A lot of Robbie Keane in him. But he's a phenomenal talent. And he bangs in like 15 goals every single season. Wherever
super confident with the ball. With the ball, he's super confident. He'll go forward. He doesn't look for the pass out wide. He's really direct, you know? Like he would be a good signing for him.
It wouldn't satisfy me if he was like, if it was him and Savinho or whatever. I'd sit there and go, we got a small team. Like we got to think about something else there, right? But either way, my point being, this is not a Tottenham show, but just fucking like when you get people going, here's how Mikotadze's going to change Tottenham. And by the way, this person did a video yesterday, and look at that person has never even fucking heard of Mikotadze until yesterday. They went and looked up a few stats and like, fuck right off, okay? Fuck right off. It winds me up. But anyway,
it'd be good value for money as well. The good thing about that, like here in Spain, they have a release clause. So to actually get them out of the clubs, every single player's got a release clause. So I don't think when they bought him from, did he come from like France, Lyon or something? Didn't he?
Yeah, he came from Lyon, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there would be like a huge release clause in his contract, even if Villarreal didn't want to sell him. I think he'd probably be good value for money as an option. Good player, really good player.
Bring him in. Bring in another bigger guy. Bring in Cody Gakpo. If you want Cody Gakpo, Mikotadze, and Savinho, I'll take it. Right. And Mikotadze can play the false 9 and come deep and all that stuff, so it helps out the situation if you've got problems with Maddison and all that shit. But like, I don't think him by himself or with Savinho, then you've got problems with the height problem. And like, there's definitely issues with it. It's not a clean transfer, but as a player, he's very, very good. Anyway, we'll talk about that on the Spurs Talk Show. And Nikos, mate, you're always welcome on the Spurs Talk Show, mate. You know you are.
Mate, when Harry Kane signs for Spurs, I'll come on. I'll say I told you a month ago, Sean, because I had it on good authority, just for the little audience that are here. Somebody that does the accountancy and taxes for the associates that run Barcelona, that they're making a bid for Harry Kane because Alvarez wasn't possible. And I've got a feeling, and this is why I said to Kate on her show as well, I've got a funny little feeling because obviously Spurs would be given a call by Bayern Munich to match that offer, regardless of whatever Barcelona did, as long as it was above the release clause or whatever. I've got a feeling Spurs are negotiating right now with Harry Kane, and Barcelona are as well. And he's now in a position where he's decided.
I don't think you're miles off the truth, right? I think I've heard a lot of people have messaged me that claim that they know things. I'm not including Johnny in that, but Johnny has also messaged me saying that he's heard from his people that a bid for Harry Kane has 100% gone in. It would be amazing to get him back. It'd be amazing, and obviously there's no contract signing. Bayern Munich, they're stalling on the contract, right? So it would be amazing if we could sign him. And Nikos, I'll get you the hat. Harry
Kane shirt. I'm going to pick it out.
I'll get you a fucking OK jersey bomber. Okay, well done.
Love it. I'll wear it with pride, my friend. I'll wear it with pride. But mate, what a really good show. I really enjoyed the company, pal. What a great show. Great comments. Thanks for just pop something in and join the channels and like and subscribe. And if you want to join my one, great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Really enjoyed it Friday night, you guys.
The only thing I would say is I don't know why. Like, I'm gonna have to go and figure out what's happened to my little app that I built, because there should have been like. I mean, look, we've only ran like 12 or 13 videos of the 88 that were in there. Maybe the others that are all new in that should be in there as well. Maybe they are, but I'm pretty sure that there should be like 200 videos in there, so there's something wrong. But we'll do it again very soon. I guarantee that we're demonetized. 100% we are. But either way, it's been fantastic, and you lot in the chat have been very, very gracious to be throwing those little what were they called? Jewels. Yeah, I don't know what I got no idea, but I really appreciate you guys picking up the slack, because if you do enjoy the show, then we can't rely on Google to do it. Daniel Phil's come in with a late one here, saying hopefully there'll be another rabbit hole again soon. Yeah, listen, we can do one on Sunday if you fancy, Nikos. If you fancy it, mate.
Right, I love these shows, mate. I just love talking conspiracies. I like hearing people's opinions. It's been a really enjoyable show. I've really enjoyed it, actually, to be honest. So, yeah, mate, whenever you're free, I know it doesn't make you much money off the ad revenue and stuff, but I think it serves a really good
It
cause.
is what it is. It is what it is. I'm more concerned about just the email address because it's all attached to the same email address. And
Migrate it onto another channel. I'm sure all these people here today would follow you to another channel if you sent them that way. So if it's that much of a concern,
it's not. It's just I should probably just change the email address associated with it. But we'll figure it out, guys. What's up, Daniel? Thank you for the 2 joules. I don't know what that means. Is that 2 pence or something? Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Whatever it is, you guys have been absolutely sensational. Everyone has been an absolute legend. Was that Kane and Osman? Yes, please. He rejected. Kane is not coming back now. He's rejected the move. Apparently, Danny Kiriakou is now in the know. Danny Kiriakou in the know. We shall see. I'd rather give up a couple of shirts and a hat and have Harry Kane back at Tottenham. Than
if I was Harry Kane and I got the choice of going to Barcelona to replace Lewandowski or going to Tottenham, pretty much would be a no-brainer. But there is some sort of emotional attachment for him to go back to Tottenham. So.
I agree. Guys, last chance saloon to do the right thing if you haven't already. You've been amazing tonight, chat. You've been absolutely amazing with the things, but please do also go over there and subscribe to Tinfoil Transmission, Nicky Boy. And there's reasons why. So Danny, you got to come on, let us know, mate. Let us know tomorrow, bro. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. It's all in on Ozyman now, is it? Okay, well, I'll take him either. I don't mind him as well. That's absolutely fine. Guys, we love you all. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you all. Take care, and as always, have a great night. And Rabbit Hole is out. See ya. Cheers, Nicholas. See you guys.